Hey, everybody, welcome in. Happy birthday to DKR Texas Memorial Stadium today. 100 years old yesterday, and they will play Florida for the first time in that stadium ever. You realize, Jerry Hamilton, that Texas played Florida back in 1924 before that stadium was brought online later that year, and they played at Old Clark Field. Yep. And this is the first time they'll be in Austin since then, and the first time in this stadium, Texas and Florida. Marquee names in college football. History is aplenty, but not a lot of intersections until we have today. 11 o'clock kick from the stadium, and it should be a fun one. Texas is fresh and off a bye week and ready to rev it up. Jerry, Florida, a pretty beat-up football team right now. A lot of injuries coming off that Georgia game.
Tons of. By the way, in our announcing crew today, we get the Bachelor and Bachelorette host Jesse Palmer today, too, who I guess played quarterback at Florida one time, but that's what he's known for now today. But, yeah, Florida's just a really beat-up football team. Their top three corners to start the season are all out today. Their best interior offensive lineman, Damian George, that's who they've been running behind. If you just watch where he moves, number 70, North Shore product, the transfer from Alabama, he's out today. Their top two wide receivers, Elijah Badger, Eugene Wilson, and Eugene Wilson's a future pro, are out today. Their top two quarterbacks, yes, I know DJ Lagway warmed up, blah, 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 are out today. Even if DJ Lagway comes in, he's playing on one leg. So they're out today. They're healthy on the defensive front, but their secondary is banged up. Their safeties are also playing with injuries right now. So this is not a healthy Florida team. This is not the best version of Florida. But regardless, this needs to be the best version of Texas on offense in the first half today. Yeah. That's the one thing I've been steady with this week. One, the key is first down defense against Florida and Warner, Aiden Warner, their quarterback, the third stringer. But it's the Texas offense playing a clean first quarter, clean first half. They need to have the defenses back because the defense has had their back. That's the complementary football. I want to see a clean game on special teams. Matthew Golden hadn't had a chance to have a big return for the last few games because there's been a holding call anytime he gets close to breaking one or breaks one. I want to see a clean football game today. Cut out the self-inflicted penalties. Cut them out. Try to get out of this first quarter without a turnover in your own side of the field, Aaron. If Texas can just play a clean first quarter, first half against this Florida team, Florida's going to have a tough time keeping up.
Agreed. Yeah, quick start. We saw that in the first 5 games, and obviously it's kind of flipped since they got to October. Even the Oklahoma game was a one-sided game, but the first quarter was pretty ugly. You'd obviously like to flip that. Vanderbilt started with a quick 7-0 lead, and after the tip drill interception. And one of the things, there was some debate, Jerry, during the week about Texas being number 5 in the first college football playoff rankings. Do they have a schedule? Have they beaten anybody? I just hang the hat on that they have the number 1 defense in the country. They've allowed 9 touchdowns in 8 games. They are playing among elite defenses in the last 20 years, allowing the yards per play the yards per drive, points per drive kind of things. They are playing excellent football. And I think if you told any of our Texas viewers and the fans when the season began that they were going to have the number 1 defense in the country and Sark's got to figure some things out on offense, I think you'd take that, right, with 4 games to go, because that you just said it, get the mojo going on offense. This defense is good enough to win you a championship.
No doubt. This is a playoff level defense, and I definitely wasn't there to start the season. I didn't think Texas would be the number 1 ranked defense. Now, is it scheduled? Part of it's scheduled? Probably. They don't have Ole Miss. They don't have Tennessee. But at the same time, you play against who's in front of you, and they've played such sound football. You have a couple of run fits. Other teams have good players too. You're going to make some mistakes. We don't expect perfection, but what we expect is consistency and great communication. And Texas has great communication as a defense, as a defensive staff. And I think that's just carried over to the field. And, you've had some things defensively this year that have happened that I think have elevated this team. Jahdae Barron's play at corner has elevated this team. Because coming into the year, you knew he was a tremendous nickel. But would he be a high-level corner? Now, again, they haven't played against the practice is the best competition they face at wide receiver this year. But he has played exceptionally well. Anthony Hill has grown as a linebacker. I think the move to him to outside is better for this defense. Jermaine Lolay has really brought something up front. Alfred Collins is coming off his best back-to-back games as a Texas Longhorn. Vernon Broughton playing really well. Now he's out the first half of this game, but playing his highest level of football. Barron Sorrell playing his highest. That's what you have to have. And Jelani McDonald's play is really underrated right now for this Texas team, because with Derek Williams out for the season and then Makuba not playing against Vanderbilt, it was again, whoa, what's this going to look like? And Jelani McDonald brought alley cat physicality. And that was what was going to be missing without Derek Williams. So that Jelani McDonald's brought that is really big for this defense. And how high a level Manny Muhammad's playing at, Aaron? He doesn't get tested. That's when you know a corner is really, really good, right? When nobody really targets him.
Yeah. The defense will have a bit of a challenge today early with Vernon Broughton out for that targeting call late in the Vanderbilt game that prevented the pick six. So he will be out until second half. So they're going to have some guys step up. Jermaine Lole, obviously Alfred Collins. You mentioned Bill Norton stepping in and stepping up. And, that secondary with the improvement, Jalen Gilbo stepping forward, Jade Barron slide to corner. And then, Leunga Lafau taking over at linebacker and earning that spot next to Anthony Hill has really made them pretty darn significant in what they're doing on that side of the ball. Offense needs to come along with it as we get this thing rolling. A couple of great new sponsors for us here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. Aaron Hogan, Jerry Hamilton, one of them Texas Countertops. We're going to tell you all about them. They're the best countertops for your kitchen and your house. They're custom made. They're phenomenal. We'll tell you all about them. Also, Grande Equipment is back with us for the Texas Watch Along here in our first quarter. We get your countertops. Also, ATX Trees bringing you this watch along here on the On Texas Football channel. Texas and Florida. Texas will receive the opening kickoff. And just to your wish, Jerry, they get a chance to get off to that quick start.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is look, they have a good kicker, so he's going to put it in the end zone. Florida's really good in special teams, kicking and punting the football. But this is offensive line time for Texas. This is coming off an off week. They've had some protection issues. It's not just the offensive line, protection issues. I don't want to single out just the offensive line. But this is a coming off an off week. Florida's not a great pass rushing team, but they're going to copycat what Alabama and Vanderbilt did. You're going to see AA get blitzes with the linebackers today. It's coming. You've had an off week to prepare for it. So this is a chance for the offensive line to get going again, in pass protection in general, to get going again.
Yep. And here we go. As you say, a Florida team that had to have a lot taken out of them in the game against Georgia last week that went to the fourth quarter. That was a very hard-hitting, physical, emotional rivalry game. And there's Texas coming out with an initial first down. DeAndre Moore looked like he was down, and the ball did pop out, but looked like they're calling him down there at the first down stick. DeAndre Moore with the first catch for the Longhorns as they get first down. Quick play. That's an extension of the passing game. You know that, right? I mean, just a quick one out there, get them going, get Florida going side to side a little bit.
Look, in the last 2 weeks, Florida's come out in two high shell corners off. That's what Vanderbilt did. If Florida shows a lot of that early, Sark is going to throw it to the perimeter, and make those guys start coming up. And that's what they're doing. They're off with the corners, two high shell. Look, one corner's playing press up there. They're actually playing more press early on in this game to try to take away the perimeter game.
And there's another good throw for Quinn. That's DeAndre Moore, back-to-back catches, first downs on successive plays for the Longhorns. Quinn Ewers off to a nice start. And that's really the key for me, Jerry. I mean, they got to protect him, but at the same time, Quinn's got to step into throws and look confident, and I think it all goes as he goes.
Really good release there by Matthew Golden. Had to do a little bit of a double release a little bit against that press coverage, but good release there. Good timing throw by Quinn.
All right, back-to-back passes. Longhorns with Trey Wisner as the starting running back here. See if he gets his first carry after successive first downs for the Horns. Nope, another play action.
Yeah, look, I mean, here's the deal. What you've seen the first three plays, if Florida can't get pressure, Texas is going to score the ball a lot today. If Quinn has a clean pocket, he is an extremely accurate player in the intermediate game, arguably the best in college football. If they protect him, if this is the best Florida can do in pass rush today, they're in trouble.
100% agree. And there's your first running play, and the Longhorns are playing with some mojo, as Sark called it. They wanted to see, Sark during his Monday news conference talked about, shooters in basketball or home run hitters that haven't seen one fly out of the park in a while. Feels like they're pressing a little bit the last couple games. Want to see that relax and just play your role and let the offense do what it's supposed to do. And so far, so good. Positive plays each of the first 3 completions for 42 yards. Now a 6-yard run on first down for Trey Wisner.
Yeah, again, let's see. Florida's going to have to start bringing numbers. I don't know if they're doing it this drive or the next one, but they're going to have to start bringing numbers and blitz Quinn. Yeah,
no pressure again here for Quinn all day, and a quick throw out to Juan Davis with a catch. So spreading out 5 for his first 5 is Quinn, and the Longhorns are into the red zone now.
Yeah, and here's the key. Don't turn it over here. You got points coming on the board, whether it's a touchdown or field goal. Do not turn it over. Clean. Remember, clean first part of this game, first quarter and a half.
A couple of good blocks on the outside by the receivers, and Longhorns are moving it. And, just as the script would be, and Sark's got to be pretty happy so far. They've had 6 complete passes. Are they going to call that a run, or is that going to be a throw or a pass? I'm not sure, but either way, 7 yards.
Be a pass. They called that a pass. That was close, Aaron. That was a good question.
Yeah.
But again, this first drive, it's going to tell us a lot about Austin Armstrong compared to what he does on the second drive, because what he's doing the first drive, unless you get a fluke turnover here, is not working.
Yeah, there's no pressure. They're trying to get pressure with 4. So far, offensive line's been great. There's a blitz from the linebacker, and Trey Wisner's going to lose yards that time.
You can't turn that back and run backwards, Trey. You can't go backwards, man. You cannot.
Just get down to take your loss.
Yeah. And this isn't high school football. You can't turn and reverse field from that position and think you're going to do anything with it. No chance. Got to play smarter than that.
Yeah, little twist there by the defensive end, came around and didn't get picked up.
Yeah, running back's got to get down in that situation.
All right, 3rd and 10, first third down. The Longhorns have faced. Quinn Ewers has hit his first 6 passes here, or 5 passes, I should say. Big opportunity for the Horns.
Be protective with the football.
Yep.
Texas calls timeout, so you got to be protective with the football here, and I think obviously Sark's aggressive. He's not. He wants Quinn to be protected. Look at Sark is mad. He is mad. But again, no turnovers here. You need to come away with points. You've had a good opening drive, but you got to come away with points here. So call your play, but Quinn's got to be smart enough here to be careful with the football and make sure you at least get a field goal attempt out of this, because points are huge in any game. Points are really huge against this Florida team today, because offensively, with the 3rd-team quarterback, best offensive lineman's out, best 2 wideouts are out. This is a depleted team you're going against today. So points, very, very pivotal.
Yeah, Sark not happy. That drive has kind of hit a 3rd and 10 when it was cooking like it was. Trey Wisner with a mistake running backwards, and then on that play you had an interior line bust again too, as they came with the stunt, and no one picked it up, but they'll figure that out. Now 3rd and 10. Any chance it's 2-down territory, or are you getting a field goal on the board, Jerry, depending on what happens here?
Sark seems to go for it if he gets the 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, but if it's me, I want points on the board, especially as tough of a start as Texas has had offensively in the last couple of games, first drives especially. I mean, they came back against Vanderbilt and ripped them up on the 2 high shell corners off after that tough opening drive. But points are big here. This is a chance for the offense to say, all right, Texas defense, we got your back today. You've had our back. So come out with a good, clean first drive and get some points on the board. I think it's huge in this game.
100% agree. And for folks who are not in Austin today or watching from around the state, around the country, around the world, here on the One Texas Watch Along, it is a beautiful 65-degree day in Austin, Texas. There's been some 100-degree days at DKR this year. This was very pleasant. Not much breeze either. Weather should not be a factor, just the high sky and the sun. This says take the points regardless. I like that. Grande Equipment, bringing you the first quarter here. They're back with us. Were with us all last year. Equipment sales and rentals. My buddy Wes Murray and his team, locally owned, started in Dripping Springs, got so big they moved over to Buda. Now they're down near San Marcos. But it's all over Texas. Grande Equipment. If you need any heavy equipment sales or rentals, also refurbishes, they can do that. And they are great people, as Wes always tells me, with his equipment and what they have for any project you have, large or small. They can handle you. They're little and independent, but they play in the big leagues in a big way at Grande Equipment, our first quarter sponsor. You can see all the details there. Just call them or go to the website, grandeequipment.com. You won't meet better people in that industry, without a doubt. All right, Longhorns will face a 3rd down coming back.
Sports Talk, Jay, over-under on Cook having 1 catch today. I'll take the under for the rest of the year. He's no longer on the Texas team.
Yes, he has parted ways, which, if there's a distraction there, just go ahead and let that happen. And Longhorns are plenty good, I think, on this front.
Oh, yeah.
So, receivers, you've already seen, DeAndre Moore with 2 catches, Gunnar Helm and Juan Davis have a grab. Trey Wisner. So plenty of weapons for Longhorns, and You guys have talked about that Jonte Cook story all week long. All right, first third down for the Longhorns. They've moved it on first and second down all the way down here to the red zone. Now 3rd and 10 from the Florida 23. Coming out of bunch formation, wide side here, and there's pressure again right on DJ Campbell, right on cue, and that interior pressure continuing to get the Longhorns.
Ran a twist. 3 tech went outside to the 5. Defensive end edge linebacker twisted inside, wasn't picked up by the Texas guard, and boom, sack. And now you're at 52-yard field goal, 49-yard field goal.
Yeah, two negative plays from the red zone for Texas. One on the running play to Trey Wisner when the offensive line didn't pick up a twist, and then that one the blitz, and now it's Bert Auburn with a long field goal here. And
Wide right.
Yeah, boy. Well, that's the start Florida wanted. Texas moved it with ease into the red zone, and then a couple negative plays and a sack, and the Longhorns miss a long field goal.
Yeah, just look, that's just a really good first part of the drive and a really bad ending to the drive. I mean, Trey Wisner runs backwards. Can't do it in college football at this level unless you have a jet pack attached to you, and you still shouldn't do it. And then giving up the stunt twist. And that's what Florida does. They run games because they don't have the singular pass rushers that can blaze off the edge and collapse your pocket. And they don't really have the interior guys that are just pocket collapsers. They run a lot of games and stunts and twists up front. So you have to be able to handle those games as an offensive line. If you don't, your quarterback's not going to have time to let those plays develop.
Well, and I'm sure, Jerry, that's something that they worked on during the bye week, and that has been the problem against Vanderbilt and Georgia. And now here's Florida on that first drive, taking advantage of that, especially with the interior guys not communicating.
Yeah, and they fake counter, throw it wide on the perimeter. Good little juke move there to get 4 yards on first down. That's a successful first down. First down defense is huge for Texas today. If Florida can get Aiden Warner into 3rd and 3s, a high percentage of the time, they'll feel good about being able to stay in the game. If they're in 3rd and 9s, they won't feel great about it. It's pretty simple here, first down defense. And there's Lagway without pads on, by the way. So all the injury reports, come on.
Yeah, he wasn't coming. I mean, he's a kid from Texas, wanted
He
to be part of this.
Off last week. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, he is from Texas. I think this may be his only trip into Austin as a member of the Florida Gators. So just to be a part of it, at least feel like he could play. But there you go. There's the Longhorns giving up yards right up the middle. This Florida team, we saw him go toe-to-toe with Georgia last week, and that
was good push up front by
Florida
on this play. Look, it was a little bit of a little zone look. There's a good cut there by Jaden Ball, freshman running back who's a really good player. He showed some backside vision there, read the linebacker and cut that thing right back up through the A gap.
Yeah, that's the push Florida wants here, and Texas needs to bow it up. Initial first down for Florida on 2 plays, and there's a good penetration that time.
Look, it's just a Trey Moore, good job there, tackle for loss. Look, this is going to be a numbers game for Texas defensively. They have to, sometimes PK's a bend. He's a bend but don't break defense, and sometimes he plays with a lighter box. I don't think you can play with a lighter box today. If Aiden Warner and an injured receiver core happens to throw for 300 yards on you, then that's just a terrible day. But you got to play. You can't play with a light box against these guys. If you have a even front or light box against them, they're going to run the football every single time today, or throw it to the perimeter in the quick game.
Agreed. And see
more again.
Yep, Trey Moore making plays here. Longhorns looking to get off the field, get the ball back to their offense, who had a good drive before stalling after a couple negative plays. But now a chance here.
Yeah, and that look, smart play by Trey Moore. Look, that's a play right there where he read it. Oh, that was too easy of a release. I know I shouldn't be blitzing the quarterback in this situation. Really smart football play by Trey Moore. A lot of young defensive ends would have just taken off towards the quarterback. They wouldn't have read that quick release by the tight end.
3rd and 15 here, and you see that stat on the TV, the 101st and 3rd down offense, Florida this year. This is where you want them. Got to come up and tackle.
Yep, good pressure there by Texas. Made Warner move to the right side of the pocket, made him force a quick throw back over the middle, and Texas is too fast in that scenario. So good first series for Texas defensively. Going to force a punt, but Florida's punter's really good. So if he does his job, Texas will have the ball inside the 10 here, if not inside the 5.
All right, Longhorns get off the field. That defense has done that all year long. As the offense needs to play more complementary football, I think we all agree with that. But that defense, man, has stepped up. Trey Moore with a couple of really good plays on that series after the initial first downs to set up a 3rd and 15, and that's exactly where you want that third-string quarterback, Aiden Warner. And a good punt. This is going to go back Texas's way, so the Longhorns will have the ball at the 15-yard line.
Hey, that was a good bounce for Texas. The punter's really strong there, so there was a chance you were going to get the ball around the 5 or 6 instead of the 15. But here you go. I mean, look, this is where we're at. Akron at 27 asks, do we miss Cedric Baxter and pass pro 1,000%? That's the one thing I've said about Cedric Baxter. Now, that sack was DJ Campbell on that sack in the first drive. But look, CJ Baxter, the most impressive thing he did as a true freshman running back was Sark trusted him, and Choice trusted him completely from day one in blitz pickup. That is extremely rare for a freshman running back. That's why people like Nick Saban said he was the best running back we played against last year. It's Nick Saban didn't mean the best runner. He said running back because he could do everything within the offense. And as a true freshman, those staffs love somebody who can do everything within an offense. You don't have to take him off the field. He can pass pro. He can make the same calls your quarterback can and your offensive line can. Those guys are pretty rare mentally in football at that level of football intelligence. But he's not here, so moving on. It's going to be stunts. Look, what's going to happen, Aaron, after this first drive? What are they going to do? They're going to keep running stunts. They're going to run stunt at DJ Campbell again and say, pick it up. Pick it up.
I mean, is there a point where you try somebody else at that spot if it continues to happen? I mean, we're 3 games into this now for Texas.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it happens again with DJ Campbell, you'll see Cole Hudson early on. I don't think there's any doubt.
Yeah, I mean, this is an ongoing problem for Texas.
You've started 21 games now.
Yeah.
22, about to be 20, your 22nd, maybe 23rd start. So we're past the point of young football player. I mean, Cameron Williams this is his 9th career start. I mean, so he's still a young player. DJ Campbell's not a young player from an experience standpoint. So he's got to pick up the stunts and twists. He's got to help his quarterback out.
Yeah, those are basic things, right? I mean, it's not like they're doing anything super exotic. We saw Kirby Smart and Georgia, dial up some of those and got Texas a little bit. But, yeah, these are just basic twists and have to communicate better than that on your offensive line. We'll see as the Longhorns have the ball for the second time. They moved it the first time, but, Quinn Ewers was 5 for 5 with 50 yards plus. But, again, those 2 negative plays, once they got to the red zone, then Bert Auburn misses a long field goal. Longhorns had to burn a timeout on that drive as well, which Sark was not happy about. So we'll see what drive 2 presents. Is Campbell confused, unable to think out there? 4 straight games. He's getting crushed by the blitzes and stunts. Thank you for the super chat.
He is definitely not picking up things in his peripheral. When plays are in front of him, he's really good. But if there's things in his peripheral, that's where he's struggling to me. And it's kind of continued on. So that's something to watch with him long-term, I think, at this point is where things are crossing in through that peripheral, I think, is where he struggles. It doesn't matter if you're a good athlete. If you're late seeing things in your peripheral, you're going to be late reacting to them.
Yeah, and we'll see if he gets another opportunity. But the Longhorns were moving the ball, and two twists right there into that A gap were what got him. One on a blitz and one on the running play that Trey Wisner was going to get hit for a loss, and then made it worse by going backwards. But Texas did look pretty sharp on that first series, except for those 2 plays. See if they can build on that. And here we go. Yeah, same offensive line is out there for drive number 2 for the Longhorns. Halfway through quarter 1, no score so far on our On Texas Football watch along. Appreciate you being there wherever you're coming to us from. Our first quarter brought to you by Grande Equipment. There's a good throw by Quinn. And, oh, wow, that should have been a touchdown potentially.
Yes, corner fell. Corner fell. Ball was not accurately thrown. If that ball's accurately thrown, that's a touchdown. That's Cormani McClain, the corner that transferred, the former 5-star that transferred from Colorado. And he just flat out fell down on that play. Ball was not thrown accurately, else that would have been a massive gain, maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, not good there by Quinn. That's one you want back, but put it at 7 points on the board. That's your fastest player wide open. Oh. All right, here we go. This Florida team starting to get some mojo after getting lit up a little bit early. Now they're starting to flex back, and Texas has to respond.
And look, this was It's kind of a drop in the zone right there, threw it right into him. Lucky it wasn't a pick.
Yeah, I think Billy Napier would have thought that would have picked. Yeah, the defensive end there, faked blitz and then dropped right into where Quinn was going to try to beat the blitz and confusing the quarterback now. Bad throw and a bad read that time. Got to get rid of the ball. And nice move by Quinn. He's going to get close to it, but not going to get there. As Florida played coverage that time, Quinn didn't like what he saw and was able to scramble, but they'll punt the ball here, I have to imagine. Or you go for this.
I mean, 4th and half. I mean, so I would say punt. Let's see what Sark does.
All right, good coverage that time by Florida. As had a check down out there. Probably should have taken that, but either way, he almost got the first down. And it looks like they're going to stay on the field, at least try to draw him off sides, Jerry.
Which is interesting because they've already used one timeout on the first drive. So are you actually going for this, or are you trying to draw them off sides? No, you're going to run a little inside trap is what you do. And I think the second effort will get you there. So first down. But it had to be second effort there. Jarrett Gibson with the strong leg drive, strong young man. And you've seen that on their 4th and shorts. They go 2 backs, 1 in motion, but they really just run the little what would be a fullback trap with Jarrett Gibson. But that strong leg drive got the first down because on initial contact, he wasn't there.
A good push for Texas right there after the initial contact. Really good push on the left side, and then it came from, again, over the right side, and DJ Campbell, where the penetration came from. Longhorns with the first down. Give Quinn Ewers some credit. Had a bad throw, but also ran and scrambled that one. Here's a potential big play for Texas coming around the end. It's Isaiah Bond with speed, and look out. He is across midfield and still running. Longhorns are going to pick up a chunk play. Razzle-dazzle. They play action.
There was a lot to unpack on that play, Aaron.
Yeah.
There are about 3 fakes, a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection here.
Fake the end around, fake the counter play, and then here comes the second end around with a blocker out in front now. Yeah, that's a bye week play that got drawn up right there. That was nice. Nice execution by Texas that time too.
That looked like electric football back in the day. It's like what we grew up playing, Aaron.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, now Longhorns hitting the high red zone here inside the 30-yard line or right at it, and a chance to get points on the board for the first time. Jaden Blue out of the pony package there, the 2 backs in the backfield. And this is, you guys kind of see where Florida's going to be, right? They're going to maybe bend, but try not to break, and then maybe try to bring pressures as they get closer to the end zone. That's a typical SEC style. Longhorns get 1 yard on first down. This will be a big second down.
Boom.
Yep. Pump fake. Look out. All right, Matthew Golden walk-in touchdown. Longhorns on the board, 7-0. Bert Auburn's missed a field goal, but the Longhorns have had scoring chances on each of their first 2 drives against this Florida defense. Just 7 points, though. But that was another play calling mastery on that drive right there, Jerry.
Yeah, I know it was. I mean, great play call on the I don't even want to call it technically the reverse to Isaiah Bond, but there was a lot more involved in that than here on the play action. Fake the swing pass to the perimeter, corner bites, wide open Matthew Golden out of the slot on that play, or nickel bites on that play. But look, here's the thing. Florida's got secondary. I mean, their best players are not playing at corner. Their top 3 corners are out. That also means they've had to move some other guys around from safety to nickel on this team. So they have issues in their secondary. This should not be a secondary that communicates well together because they just haven't played much together in meaningful games. So this is where the Sark has a real advantage on this secondary today. And Quinn should have a really big game. I mean, he should have a big game. This is a defenseless secondary. If they don't get pressure, they can't cover Texas.
Yeah, and really good confusing play calls there. You fake the little jet sweep, which you've run a couple times, a little swing out with blockers, and then you let Ryan Wingo slide through to create, to take the coverage, and then here comes Matthew Golden behind that. Really nice play call right there, made it easy on Quinn Ewers. Grande Equipment bringing us our first quarter, and be with us all through the month of November here on the On Texas Watch Along. Wes Murray. If you can't find what you need as far as equipment, heavy equipment of any kind, let them utilize their resources and conduct the search for you. Locally owned and operated, they've been serving the world's equipment needs, though, since 2004. Their attention to detail and total commitment to you, the customer, is what separates Grande Equipment from others. whether it's used equipment of all brands or wholesalers, if you're one, dealers all around the world. Most machines have extensive service records available too. Oil samples can be requested on any machine. Just ask. Check out their inventory at grandeequipment.com. That's grandeequipment.com. And if you have heavy equipment you'd like to sell, offload, need an alternative to auctions, they accommodate 30 to 60 to 90-day consignments, maximizing your return depending on the window of your time frame. They pride themselves at Grande with long-standing relationships and referrals. You can always count on Grande for all of your equipment needs. Heavy, large, huge projects or small, doesn't matter. If they've got you locked in at Grande Equipment. And the Longhorns were locked in on that drive as they give Quinn Ewers a little bit of credit there. They played coverage and he scrambled for 9.5 yards, and that allowed them to go for it on 4th and short, get it, and then next thing you know, they're in the end zone on a 7-play drive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look, that Quinn, that's a play that Quinn has to make for this team down the stretch. You can't worry about your health anymore. You're down to 1-game margin for error to make the playoffs. So you got to leave everything on the field. But that play put the decision in Sark's hands, and they ran that little fullback dive, buck, whatever you want to call it there. They used it with Jarrett Gibson on their 4th downs to move the chains. And look, if Florida if they don't get pressure, they can't cover Texas. I mean, they just can't. But it's that reverse play was huge, because the one area that Florida's doing really well against Texas in the first 2 drives is run defense. I mean, they've been pretty solid, and they have a good rotation with their defensive line. They have some quality players, not Georgia level, not even A&M level players, not Michigan or Oklahoma level players, but they have good players. This is a team that recruits top 12, 14 classes every year with the occasional top 10 class. They have good players, and they have good depth and a rotation there. We'll see as Texas loosens these guys up on the perimeter and down the field in the passing game if the run game follows. That's something I'm watching for. This drive here coming up, Aaron, first down defense. If Texas can get Aiden Warner behind the chains, Billy Napier's going to have a tough time calling plays.
100% with a backup, double backup quarterback here, Aiden Warner, who's a transfer from Yale. He's a freshman too, so preferred walk-on who's just a freshman out here. And that's why, you and I talked on the radio this week, Jerry, if you have a chance to build an early lead, this Georgia team, this Florida team may not have a lot left after what went on. They had Tennessee a couple weeks ago in overtime. They had Kentucky, and then a really physical game with Georgia last week. This is one you build a lead. They may wave the white flag a little bit because of
I posted on ontexasfootball.com this morning and talked about it a little bit earlier in the week. 6 starters from the Tennessee game. 6 starters are out. So almost a third of their starters out from that game in Tennessee. I mean, that's a considerably different team than went to Knoxville.
Yeah, 100%. And gosh, Texas plays in a rivalry game every year in Dallas against Oklahoma. When it's like that and it's that physical and it's 20-20 into the 4th quarter, you're overachieving. You're shooting your shot, as they say, and what can you get back up the next week becomes the question, especially when it's against a top 5 team on the road. Longhorns early on dominating 128 yards to 16. Now here's another possession for the Florida Gators. As you said, first down defense always will be key against this offense, and they're going to try to pass for it and take a shot. Longhorns have it covered. Michael Taft, as usual, where he's supposed to be in the back end. Coming out of that Vanderbilt game, Jerry, it was Diego Pavia who said that Michael Taft is one of the best safeties he's faced. He's veteran player. He was always where he needed to be. Couldn't move him with his eyes. He just couldn't. I think he said at one point, Pavia, in the post game, that it's hard to believe that guy was a walk on because he's really good.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, we're seeing some of Alex January in early on the 2nd drive, the freshman from Duncanville with Vernon Broughton out the first half. We're seeing more of Alex January early on. This is the earliest in a game I remember seeing Alex January.
Yeah, 100%. And Sark did say going into the bye week that one of the focuses with that first week off was to really focus on the young guys and see what strides they've made during the course of the year. And Alex January, obviously, looking like one of those guys who's been growing and has earned some opportunities with the unavailability of Vernon Broughton here in the first half.
Really good coverage by Manny Muhammad. Big 3rd and 10 coming up here for Florida on the 25. If Texas can force this punt right here, they can start getting downhill on this team because they've driven it twice, have 130 yards. If they can get a stop here and force a punt,
now you're going to get 3rd and 15, little false start action. Longhorns exactly where you want it. We saw the stat on the first third down. This team is 101st in the country in third down offense. Longhorns very good on third down defense, and now it's 3rd and 15 for the second time.
The last time it was a 3rd and long, PK essentially dropped 9. We'll see what he does on this one. I hope he brings a little more heat this time.
Yeah, last time they threw it underneath, and I think that's what you want, right? With 15 yards, you can fall up, drop everybody, and rally and tackle. But we'll see if there's more pressure on a second long third conversion here.
So they brought a little more heat here, and they ran it up the gut.
Ball, fumble.
Yep.
All right, Longhorns, great. Trey Moore's having a heck of a first quarter here. That is a fumble recovery. Longhorns, and now there's a penalty coming in. Look out for this. But either way, Longhorns are going to have the ball. Trey Moore having a heck of a first quarter, just scooped that up like a basketball player and never missed stride.
Yeah, by the way, we just had our red zone issue solved. Hand the ball to Trey Moore.
Yeah.
Trey Moore looked like a running back after this fumble recovery. I mean, really good hit by Anthony Hill. Ball pops out, and Trey Moore shows some so who was that? Was that Alex January with the arm and then Anthony Hill on the hit? Yeah. Trey Moore, man, looking a little bit like a interesting tight end.
Well, they're going to call a hold, so Texas will be backed up just a little bit, but they will have the ball in the red zone, blocking the back on Texas on the return. So that'll be 15 yards. But Anthony Hill, Alex January, good eyes by you, Jerry, here on the On Texas Watch Along. First quarter brought to you by Grande Equipment, as the Longhorns now in business with a chance to stretch this out to a 2-score lead. With 3:20 to go first quarter, but good eyes to see Alex January out there. Yeah. Also, I think it's something we'll be watching this whole game is numbers and who gets their opportunity coming out of the bye week where young guys got extra reps to show off a little bit.
By the way, that was Alfred Collins on the strip arm around Ball's arm, and then Anthony Hill with the hit.
And that is a freshman running back fumbling that ball. You saw his running backs coach on the sidelines trying to keep his head up because they need him because they're down running backs right now. Their starter is out, as are many of the Florida Gators starters in this game. Longhorns can really step on it here. Well, little wheel route throw, outstretched. Trey Weiser not going to have it, but went for it. Went for a shot play, but good coverage by the linebacker that time, or the defensive back.
Yep, they didn't bite on it. Corner Sheriff. I'm not sure if Denson's playing the corner. I think he's playing the corner versus the nickel spot, but. Quinn tried to loft it out there and let Wisner run under it, but good coverage there by Denson.
All right, Longhorns looking to add to a 7-0 lead. Little play action. There's a good throw. Gunnar Helm's going to score a touchdown. Longhorns are up 14-0 if the extra point is good. That was a great to RPO. Good eyes by Quinn that time. You know, he has the choice there to hand it off or to fire it, and he just little whip throw. Nobody covered Gunnar Helm, and he's a walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, the Florida linebackers can be had in coverage, and they're going to have to bring them to blitz Quinn. And if Quinn and the offensive line, if Majors sees it, Quinn sees it, Gunnar Helm could have a big day today. They brought the linebacker inside backer on the blitz. They went for the A-gap blitz, not the delayed A-gap blitz. That's what's given Texas issues there. But easy pitch and catch for Quinn. Quinn saw it. Good read by Quinn. And nobody there to tackle Gunnar Helm. He walked it into the end zone.
He's been a red zone nemesis this year. Gunnar Helm with another touchdown pass. He was one of the semifinalists this week for the John Mackey Award. He is on the list. Also, I saw where Anthony Hill is on who just forced a fumble. He's on the final 15 for the Butkus Award. I think also Kelvin Banks on the list for the Lombardi Award right now. So, when you get this much talent playing well, top 5 in the country, you start winning. That's something Sark says all the time, Jerry. Team success will lead to individual success in the grand scheme of college football. So stick with the team, and all those individual accolades will come from it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's the whole name of the game. You win, you get awards. Just look at the teams that win. I mean, that at the highest level, that's all part of it. But I love the start I'm seeing after the first drive fizzled just with a DJ Campbell Trey Wisner made a bad running back play, and right after that, DJ Campbell did not pick up the twist, okay? Then you missed a 49-yard field goal. After those 3 negative plays in a row for Texas, that's really been it. Texas has been even – and look, they'll run the ball better as this game moves along. Either that or Quinn's going to throw over 400 yards today. But I really like what I'm seeing from the Texas offense. I love what I'm seeing from Sark's play calling here. And if Florida's linebackers – if it's not more of a delayed blitz in the A gaps, I think Gunnar, Helm, and Quinn are going to have a huge day. You got to disguise that linebacker blitz a little bit better. That's what Georgia did. Either they double A gap blitz or ran a delayed blitz with their backers. Vanderbilt ran a delayed blitz with the linebackers. It's too easy pitch and catch right now.
Yeah. Well, right now, Texas looks like a fresh team off a bye that's kind of getting after it. And Florida does kind of look like a team that's on the fourth game of a really tough 4-game stretch and has a bunch of injuries they've taken because, they're chasing Texas right now. We'll see if Texas can force another, third down situation. So far, back-to-back drives. It's ended at 3rd and 15, one with a got off the field tackle and then a fumble forced that it led to a short field touchdown. Longhorns up 14-0 here and looking for more from their defense.
That was a
good play.
Yeah, 4-man front, brought linebacker. He ran right up into the blocker. Jaden Ball's got a good little jump cut for a 6'1", 230-pound back. Jaden Ball's he looks like a guy that has an NFL future to me. He's got the jump cut. He's got the skip cut at 6'1", 230, and he reads the linebacker really quickly. Natural vision from Jaden Ball. He's not wasting motion as a running back, as a young back. That's always impressive to me.
100%. 100% for the Longhorns. And now 2nd and 7 here. Let it get outside. That's going to squirt for a first down as they didn't set the edge that time. Good blocking by Florida on the left side.
Yeah, again, Texas got sucked up a little bit. Didn't set the edge there. And if you don't set the edge against a running back that has vision, you're in trouble. And there's the jump cut, there's the skip cut, and there's the vision. And really, that's a really good run by Jaden Ball. But Texas has to do a little better setting the edge. Jaden Ball's got really good feet for 6'1", 230. Those guys normally make a lot of money playing running back.
Where's he from?
He's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Like many great players out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Kirby can't take them all, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you recruit nationally at the University of Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Now, and look, here's the interesting thing with a kid like Jaden Ball. Years ago, he would have been at Clemson during their run.
Yeah, yeah.
They've
had some issues there at the skill positions. They don't have the receivers Clemson once had, the DeAndre Hopkins types, right? The Justin Rosses, and that's the same at running back.
Yeah. So you have Sadir Mitchell in the game right now. Sadir Mitchell sighting lined up next to Alfred Collins. So Sark had mentioned that he had his 3-man front, bare front, outside backers. So Sadir playing over the ball. He's tough to move. There you go, right there on that play, Aaron. You can't really move Sadir Mitchell. And if Sadir Mitchell will lock in, man, this kid will take that suspension that happened to him and grow from that and start to lock in, he can be a valuable, valuable football player for this program. He is a really good player. Let's see if this suspension matured him, and now he starts taking steps he needs to. This kid's too big and talented to go by the wayside. I want Sadir Mitchell to get this thing going and mature.
100%. It's kind of the opposite of the Jonte Cook story, right? He was not happy with playing time, but has blocked back in and stuck through it. And obviously Jonte had another decision to make, but good throw that time by Aiden Warner. That's going to set up a 3rd and short. Might be the final play of the first quarter there.
4th and 2 coming up.
4th and 2. Sorry, that was 3rd down. My fault.
Yeah, 4th and 2 going to end the first quarter, so Florida can think about what they want to do here. It's interesting.
They may have to go for that.
You're down 14-0. You're going to have a tough time getting first down, so you probably go for this right here.
All right, they'll have the quarter break to think about it. First quarter in the books. Longhorns 150 yards to 43. Our first quarter brought to you by my good buddy Wes Murray and his great team at Grande Equipment. Give them a call, give them a holler, get online. Any equipment you need, heavy equipment, large projects, small, out for the lease and the ranch, and all those things you need, they've got them. And as I mentioned in one of the mentions, Grande Equipment can also bring an older piece of equipment back to life. They have a great refurb shop that'll come out looking brand new and ready to go and put more miles on that piece of equipment at Grande Equipment, sales and rentals. You see the phone number there, grandeequipment.com. Coach Chipley, how you doing? Pretty good first quarter for the Longhorns.
You may be muted. Can you hear us, Coach? His connection. I don't know if he can hear us. Coach, you may be muted.
Yeah, I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Give us your thoughts. First quarter, Longhorns 150 yards to 43, 14-0 plus missed a field goal.
Yeah, I like the fact that Sark has obviously come up with, some different looks, some different schemes, but so is Florida. The example of the defensive end dropping back and covering Helms, on the drag was something we haven't seen yet. So
right.
It's a chess match, as we say every week. And so far, I like the way Texas has adjusted to what Florida has shown.
Yeah, Quinn looks good, Coach. I mean, he did have one missed Isaiah Bond and almost that interception, but I thought he looked really sharp. And, first quarter would tell you that 7 for 10, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I thought Sark's play calling, I mean, that what would you call that, double reverse, fake the handoff? I mean, there was a lot going on that play.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. And that's what I love about Sark. He's so innovative. He comes up with new things like that, as he needs during the season. And it's obviously something he's kind of held on to for a while, but he's so innovative. He'll come up with something like that every week. That was a great play. Very well designed play.
And the kids love running those. Players love running those trick plays, man. They kind of get a little pep in their step knowing it's coming. And we saw how it worked. Then, of course, the pump fake that got Matthew Golden free down the left side, also a great play call. I heard where, kind of breaking up the routine. And, Coach, I wanted to ask you about this. On Friday, yesterday, instead of doing their normal Friday walkthrough, Sark surprised the whole team and took them to a movie. Right, just to change it up a little bit, get out of the monotony of the week, and apparently that was well received. That they all got together, went to see a movie before they went to the team hotel last night. Which that's Sark just trying to keep these guys loose and change the pace a little bit.
Yeah, you've had 2 weeks to prepare, so you really don't need that last day because you've had 2 weeks. So I'm glad he kind of changed it up, get the kids happy and involved, and not the more downtime you have for your players, sometimes the tougher it is for them to focus, but also you can get to the point where they've been having so much put on them in the last couple of weeks that they needed a chance to maybe to get away and watch a movie or get their mind off what they're doing. So far I'm pleased with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Sark did say, Coach, going into that first bye week, the week off, that he really wanted to get back to some of that connective tissue, right? That culture building, and really get these guys back playing together. Not that they were coming apart, but just to make sure they don't forget about that this far into a season. And I think that's part of that. Also, he said, Coach, we're gonna really focus on those young guys. And so far here in this first quarter, we've seen Sadir Mitchell in the game. We saw Alex January in the game at defensive tackle. We saw Jarrett Gibson back in the game. So some of these young guys getting a chance to get on the field and show what they got.
Yeah, and I like that. I think that's something that probably needs to happen. You have to keep as many players as you can depend on. You have to keep them involved in the game somehow, and I like the way that he was able to do that.
Yeah, and you've seen it. And Jerry, you come back from timeout in our second quarter, brought to you by Texas Countertops, another new partner of ours, and we'll tell you about them here coming up throughout the second quarter. My buddy Chris Nixon and his team there, best countertops in Austin, best countertops in Texas. I promise you, they do an amazing job. But Jerry, not going forward on 4th and 2 from midfield. That's I'm sure there's some Florida fans wondering if that was the best decision. But either way, you don't want to give Texas in this offense another short field. I think is the mindset of Billy Napier.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I thought he would go for it because they're going to have a tough time mounting any drive today, but maybe he's hoping they can get a turnover on. He may be thinking a turnover on defense, a fluke play, maybe their best opportunity today. He does have an injured football team. This is one thing, and we're about to get a hold again, it looks like, on the – I don't know who that was. They're going to call that on, but it looks like –
Kelvin Banks,
first hold of the day.
Yeah, those reach blocks when they're trying to get outside. Longhorns are still struggling with that a little bit. So this offensive line playing better, but still making some of those mistakes that we saw before the bye week. They got to get that cleaned up for sure.
Yeah, I think still needs to continue to work on the running game and try to get that thing going because it's going to be a long day if Texas is not able to run the football effectively.
I agree, and this is a Florida team that you should, but at least the numbers would tell you should be able to run the ball against and create rushing yards. Longhorns so far, at least the traditional run game, not doing much. And here comes Gunnar Helm, another catch for the big tight end, but that's going to be a short gain. as Longhorns are going to be second and long now. Probably wanted to get 5 or 10 yards there to get a half of it back, but don't. And so now second long for Texas.
That 17 that made that tackle, L.J. McCrow, 5-star defensive lineman from Daytona Beach, Mainland High, an elite prospect in the last class. A huge recruiting win for Florida. He's a future first, second round level kid, big time prospect.
Yeah, Longhorns now 2nd and 20, so penalty and then no gain on the Gunner Helm play. So you've got to get something here, at least half of it back. And it's going to be 3rd and long. So Billy Napier, at least at this point, it looks like his decision to punt the ball is a good one. They can get off the field here. They got a chance to get a short field of their own to start the second quarter. Speaking of recruiting Daytona Beach, Jerry, and Coach, your thoughts on Billy Napier getting that vote of confidence from his head coach? Obviously, with National Signing Day coming up in early December, at least they can go recruit on that as a coaching staff and try to keep this roster together around DJ Lagway.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, we assume he's safe, but I just sometimes people say that's the kiss of death. But I think with teams or people recruiting your players to the portal nowadays, if they'd have just left Napier hanging the rest of the season, people are trying to recruit. I know they are trying to recruit DJ Lagway into the portal right now. Probably the receiver Eugene Wilson, probably the D lineman L.J. McCray. Man, this guy might get fired. What are you going to do? So I think just putting that out to slow down people recruiting your players is key right now. I think, look, for me with Billy Napier, 4th down punt coming, obviously, he better beat Florida State at the end of the year because he's probably going to be playing a 2-9 Florida State team. That's going to – if he loses that game, I'm not sure the vote of confidence will matter.
Yeah.
Low snap. Let's see if Michael Kern, that's another improvement that needs to be made for the Longhorns here in the second half of the year is improved punting game. That's a 42-yarder that's fair caught so high. They're going to start right about where they didn't go for 2. So the decision paid off for Billy Napier there. And Coach, this is an unprecedented. You coached a long time, but to have the early signing window in early December, to have the portal opening right after that. I mean, it's a really hard time for an athletic director and a staff to figure out what the best course of action is because it's all brand new.
Yeah, they bought themselves some time, hoping they can win, a couple of the games they have left, maybe even 3 of the games they have left. But I think it's just a short-term solution to, the problem they're facing.
Yeah, we will see. Here comes Aiden Warner with the best starting field position so far for a Florida drive. They're going to start right at midfield. That Kelvin Banks holding call was a killer for Texas. It's kind of a drive killer to start it off at 1st and 20, backed up in your own end. See if the Longhorn defense can do what they've done all year and pick up this offense. Well, there's a blown coverage and nice play, nice throw. Florida's in business here.
Yeah, again, motion is targeting a motion player is something Texas has had a lot of success doing, and Florida just had it on that play.
Yep, bringing the man in motion. And who got sucked up there, Jerry? Who's 26? Got sucked up into the gap there and didn't.
Jelani McDonald, I believe.
All right, so now red zone for the first time for Florida. See what Texas does here.
The running back went the wrong way. That helps.
A broken play, but
play.
Yeah, well, they were trying to do something razzle dazzle, but that's a 3rd string quarterback at that point. I think just miscommunication. But he did get positive yards. Give him some credit. I mean, they're going to be 2nd and 10 here. At least it didn't lose yards. So Texas defense needs a big stop here. Force a field goal.
Florida's held up at the point of attack. Oh, now we're going Wildcat. We're going our first Wildcat of the day, which you figured you were going to see this week with Jaden Ball taking a handoff on a counter.
And pretty effective.
Yeah.
Makes 3rd and short. And now this could be 2-down territory for the Gators here. Could be thinking 2 plays to try to get a touchdown on the board and not settle for a field goal.
So, look, if I was them, I'd come back and run the same play again. It's 4-down territory. I'd run it 2 more times. I'd get in the Wildcat again. I'd say, Texas, you're going to stop it this time? That's what I would do.
They're going to have to use the time. They're going to have to use a timeout here.
Yeah, that's sometimes what happens when you do go Wildcat. You take your quarterback off the field, and then he's got to get back out there. Florida timeout.
Yeah, this is a really, really big play.
I mean, I don't know what the consideration is. I'd run the same damn play again, Coach.
Yeah.
Got 7 yards.
It's got 6 yards on it in the red zone. I'm running that thing again.
Yeah, no doubt. You had to see that coming, though. We kind of expected some Wildcat stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, with the third quarterback. Hey, let me tell you about a new partner with us here on the On Texas Football Watch Along. My friend Chris Nixon and his team at Texas Countertops. Do want to say a special shout out to everybody that did get out and vote for my friend Anthony Hippolito, who did win his race. He's now going to be the Hays County Sheriff. So he wanted to say thank you to all the On Texas viewers that maybe gave him a vote or gave him a recommendation. He is a winner. So we're excited about that coming on Tuesday. But that opens up a spot, and that's where Texas Countertops jumps in. They're tremendous. If you need new countertops for your home, you're renovating your house. I mean, no one is going to knock it out like our friends there at Texas Countertops, a full-service countertop provider, personal touch. Their clients you'll come to expect an extra level of care and service because they have a dedicated team of highly experienced craftspeople dedicated to providing that precision and expertise for every countertop project you have. They have a long history in the countertop industry here in Central Texas and beyond. They apply that knowledge to each and every project, including yours. They focus on the neighbors throughout Austin, Texas, and throughout the region. The most streamlined countertop service you're going to find. Proud to be a part of the Austin community, the Central Texas community, and approach each and every project from a personal perspective. They listen to your needs and vision. They make recommendations that align with just what you want. Since 2004, native Austinites and granite quartz, soapstone, quartile, concrete, whatever. They're diligent. They diligently match patterns with the veins and everything. It's going to be the best countertops you're going to find, and a quick turnaround as well. So we want to welcome them to the broadcast and to our watch along. You see the phone number there, 836-5900. That's 512-836-5900. We go to countertoptexas.com. That's countertoptexas.com. Chris Nixon and the team at Texas Countertops. We appreciate them being a part of the On Texas Football Watch Along. All right, big third down coming. You just said it on the way to that little timeout there, Coach. Big play coming out. We'll see what Texas does. But do you think it's probably 2-down territory, Jerry, depending on what happens on third down?
Yeah, I'm running Wildcat with ball on third down here and seeing if they stop it. And if I get the 4th and 1, I'm running it again. I mean, you're at 14-0. You're not supposed to win the game. And you're here. You got a busted coverage. You made a big play. I'm keeping the ball in Jaden Ball's hands right now if I'm Florida. Not Aiden Warner's, Jaden Ball's hands.
Yeah, Coach, I think that's a good call. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, and how do you think you respond if you're Texas? I mean, we saw Sadir Mitchell in the game. Might want to get some girth up in there if they're going to be. If you're thinking Wildcat, if you're Sark and Pete Kwiatkowski, get some big guys here and get that push. We'll see what Texas does here. This is a big turning point kind of play in this game and series because if they get the touchdown, Florida's right back in the ball game. They can kind of put that fumble that led to a short field touchdown for Texas aside. And Billy Napier has played this well with not going forward on 4th down, taking the punt, Texas with a penalty, and then get back up and punt short field and see if Florida can take advantage. Here we go in our second quarter, brought to you by Texas Countertops.
Yeah,
no Wildcat here, Jerry.
Yeah, if you don't get this, and it looks like they won't, he'll probably send the field goal team on. Although I don't know if 3's going to help you.
Good play by Alfred Collins. Good play by Alfred Collins that time.
I didn't like that because Texas isn't scared of Warner running the football. So the play fake there and him running out of fake does nothing. I would have just split him out again and taken a number. And just ran the same play I just did.
And that's a good play by Alfred Collins right there, setting up 4th down. And obviously I think they're going to go for it here, 4th and 2. They're going to kick. I keep misreading Billy Napier. Maybe I'm just used to Sark.
Well, then they get a illegal procedure penalty on the field goal, which is going to move them back further. So we know now for sure they're going to try to kick the field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, we're seeing why Florida is a 4-4 football team too. I mean, they're banged up, but mistakes like that hurt. Now, if you had a fake or something, maybe thinking about you're not doing that here after 5 yards back. Penalties even so far. Texas with 2 for 20, Florida 2 for 10, and that latest Texas penalty was a big one. That was a 10-yarder to start that last drive on Kelvin Banks. But the Longhorns defense did bow up. Good play there, Alfred Collins, and I agree with you that Jerry, that they did Texas a favor with their play calling in that spot.
Wow, they have a great kicker, but not on that one.
Oh,
No,
wow.
not on that one.
That's a killer. Smack.
Oh.
Smack did not smack it.
Oof.
Well, that's a killer for Billy Napier, at least early on here, because that was a chance for some points. And now both sides have missed a field goal. Because, of course, Bert Auburn's was 51 yards. That one was a chip shot and went right. We said if you're not in Austin and there is almost no wind today, it's just kind of a beautiful, perfect November day. Well, slight breeze, I guess, is what you would call it, but nothing that would impact those kicks.
No, nothing would impact those kicks. And let's see if Texas let's see what Texas does here, Coach, on this drive, on this series. See Sark's almost through the script now, right? So let's see what Sark's got up his sleeve. See what he's seen that he likes or doesn't like. One, from his offense, and two, what he likes that he's seen from the Florida defense and where he thinks he can attack him here.
Yeah, Sark's getting tired of
short game by Wisner, on that pass. And this is exactly what Florida didn't want to happen. You got an easy chip shot field goal. You miss it, and I wonder how that affects them psychologically with the momentum they could have had on that drive.
Yep. Somebody mentioned in there, that Cole Hudson's in at right guard here on this series, and that's normal. Normally comes into the game in the second quarter. We're seeing our first Jaden Blue action of the day, by the way, on this drive.
Yeah, and I'm with Coach Chipley here. The Longhorns at some point need to establish a run game and pull those safeties up for Florida because they're dropping everything, and the Longhorns have yet to be able to establish a run game. And that's something not just for this ball game, but for the rest of the year. If you're going to, because our audience on the radio and here always complains about Quinn not pushing the ball down the field, but you got to establish that run, coach, to be able to get those safeties to come up, and then you can maybe take some deep shots or some longer throws.
Yeah, well, Texas is still able to pass the ball. That completion there is an indication, but at some point they're going to take that away, and you have to be able to run the ball.
Yep.
By the way, good catch by Isaiah Bond. I think he missed the block on that last outside run. Their corner made a good play getting off the block, but if he'd have held that block a little longer, that would have been a 4 or 5 yard gain.
Yeah, nice play call there and good route run. I mean, that's just creating conflict at the mesh point and freeing up a wide receiver. Now a deep shot for Quinn, and it's open, and it's caught. DeAndre Moore. He's going to regret that one. Dang.
Look, that was a bad throw by Quinn. I mean, he gave DeAndre Moore a shot, but golly, man. I mean, that's just too much air under that football in that situation.
Yeah, it was a little bit short, but he still should have caught it. It went right through his arms.
But DeAndre Moore has to catch the football, too. He's got to help his quarterback out.
Yeah, that should have been a walk-in touchdown, a little more air under that ball. Instead, it's a drop, and the Longhorns are still at second down. That's when they'll come back to with DeAndre Moore out of the slot and just simply drop the ball.
Yeah, have to catch the ball, even though it was a little underthrown. Should have been thrown with less air under it, but you got to catch the football.
I like that little play. Fake the handoff and then pitch it to your fastest running back to the outside. That's going to pick up positive yards. It'll be third down. Texas hoping that they don't regret that DeAndre Moore drop because that could have set them up for a 3-score lead. Now they have a 3rd and 6.
Well, it's kind of reminiscent of the Jonte Cook drop,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a way to get more balls thrown your way when you drop them. Even though it was a little slightly underthrown, it went right through his arms.
Yeah, I had to adjust to it just a little bit. But remember the year DeAndre Moore, one of the more reliable players on the team. There's another deep shot to Moore, and this one's going to fall incomplete. And overthrew that one, underthrew the first one, and Moore dropped it. So now it's 4th down. That's a drive you'll regret. And again, it's more of these self-inflicted moves and mistakes that the Longhorns are making here that continue to slow this offense down.
And again, what have we said? It's Texas is stopping Texas.
Yeah.
With bad penalties, undisciplined penalties, a drop pass. Now you've seen 2 potential. That wouldn't have been a touchdown because it was underthrown. He couldn't run through the ball, but it still would have been a big gainer. Fumbles. I mean, it's been one thing after the other, and it's why Texas is not maximizing offensively in a game right now.
Yeah, I still think we're close to hitting on all 8 cylinders. We started out, it was impressive at first. We're just not quite hitting on all 8 cylinders. And obviously to beat the people we have to beat in this conference, we've got to be hitting on all 8 cylinders every single week. And, underthrowing, overthrowing, we've got to get that stuff corrected.
Yeah, Quinn's 11 of 17, but that one he'd like to have back. DeAndre Moore obviously would too. And remember the throw out to Isaiah Bond when Cormani McClain fell down. That could have been an explosive player, even a touchdown with a better throw. So Quinn's got to tighten it up, to say the least, here for the Longhorns. But still, 14-0 lead. Florida missing a field goal helps here in the second quarter. Longhorns have not moved the ball in this second quarter like they did in the first. And you said it, Jerry, these self-inflicted mistakes. The Kelvin Banks holding call kind of derailed the previous drive, and now this one, a drop and an overthrow, and now you're punting. Now your defense back on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And look, defense, it's interesting, Coach. What Florida's only offense is Jaden Ball or a busted play. That's where they're at. I mean, they need a Texas coverage bust, or they have to get downhill in the run game with Jaden Ball. That's tough to score football in the SEC if that's what you got going for you. So I just don't think Florida has the weapons on the outside. They're too injured. Eugene Wilson was their best receiver, a future NFL guy. He's out for the year. Elijah Badger, transfer from Arizona State's out this game. He's been their leading receiver because Wilson's been hurt. Montrell Johnson hasn't played today. It's only been Jaden Ball. So they're all first-team All-SEC running back preseason, hasn't played the last 3 games now. It's an injured team. Their top offensive lineman in the run game's out. So they're pretty much down to Jaden Ball and Texas having a coverage bust or a bust in the run game. That's Florida's offense today.
Yep. That really is 100% true, Jerry. All right, second quarter is brought to you by the best countertops in Austin. That's my good buddy Chris over at Texas Countertops. If you are thinking about remodeling your home and your kitchen, maybe you do house flips, whatever your need for countertops is, there is nobody better as far as a full-service countertop provider with a personal touch. You're talking about a lifelong Austinite in Chris, who just celebrated a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Chris. He's an Austin native, but it's all types of countertops, granite, quartz, that soapstone, the concrete, no matter what, they'll tear out and dispose of your existing countertops, which will happen the morning of your installation. So you're never without a countertop. That's the quick turnaround they provide there. So, they tear it out in the morning. By the time you come home in the afternoon or in the evening, the installation is done. So you will not spend any time in your kitchen without that countertop. And all of them come with an extra level of care and service, a dedicated team of highly experienced craftspeople dedicated to providing that precision and expertise to every project, especially yours. They have a long history of countertops in the industry and in Central Texas. All you have to do is find them at the website there, as you see at the bottom of the screen, or call Chris, 836-5900. That's 512-836-5900, countertoptexas.com, bringing you the second quarter. All right, Longhorn defense back on the field. They've allowed 90 yards, but as you said, Jerry, it's really just been number 13 Ball, the running back, and a couple of blown plays. Other than that, Texas, Florida has not a lot of weapons to scare Texas right now.
Yeah, see what they do. Fake the counter. This is their game. They love to fake the counter with the play action, good pressure there. That's what Florida had started doing really well offensively. Where they got going, coaches, when they had DJ Lagway, they could fake the counter, run zone read. Then they had the play action over the top because the run game threat from the run back QB. Well, run game QB threat's gone. Top 2 receivers are gone. So it's a much more difficult running the offense they ideally want to run here. So they're more dependent on having to throw guys open and force throws down the field. You got to cover.
Colin Simmons with a great play on second down, which will yes. He's so explosive. It's just so exciting to watch him, but it'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Gators. Yeah.
With all the mistakes, the self-inflicted things we're seeing from Texas, if they get a stop here, Coach, try to go down and go up 21-0 at the half. Remember, that a 3-score lead in this game feels kind of insurmountable. That's what the Longhorn defense has an opportunity to do now, set up their offense again if they can get them off the field.
Yeah.
Little quick pass. Longhorns have it red, and Anthony Hill's going to run that out of bounds. Great play. defense continues to play really well. That was Warren Roberson there, I think, blowing that play up on the outside.
Yeah, good job by Warren Roberson being physical there, taking on the block, blowing that up, or Jalen Gilbo. But really good job there by the Texas defense. If on perimeter passes, Coach, you have to blow up that blocker on the outside. If you blow up that blocker on the outside, you are throwing the entire timing of those plays off.
Yeah, and let's see what Silas Bolden can do with this punt return. Texas should have fairly decent field position.
Longhorns up 14-0. Feels like it should be more because of a missed field goal and some Texas mistakes, but comfortably in control of this game right now. The fearless Silas Bolden will field any punt. And there he goes.
I love that guy.
Yes.
It takes guts. It takes big-time guts to make a play like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jordan and Jackson returned punts, if memory serves, right? I mean, those guys didn't mind getting back there and make that happen.
Yeah, Jordan probably more than Jackson, but Silas is fearless as any punt returner I remember for Texas consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed. He knows he's going to get hit, and he's a little guy, but he doesn't care. He's going to get out there and make that happen. Longhorns now with good field position. Their third drive of this second quarter. They've yet to hit pay dirt on the first two, and we'll see what they draw up. Uh-oh, look out. Trey Wisner, a lot of green grass. That's going to be a house call, boys.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Horns take a 3-touchdown lead with 5:54 to go in the first half. You got to like that. And it has to seem insurmountable if you're Florida because you really haven't got anything going other than a busted coverage.
Yeah, no doubt. Busted coverage is all they've had. And that's why, look, I hate to be hard on Billy Napier, but, I mean, golly, man, that's why you got to go for it down there. You can't kick field goals in this game. Field goals aren't going to keep you close in this game. Your defense is depleted in the secondary with injuries. I didn't understand that. I know Billy's in a tough spot because of injuries, but god dang, field goals aren't going to keep your job or keep you competitive in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
your great block, 2 good blocks by our linemen, and we got Gunnar Helms down there hustling. What a great team effort on that touchdown.
Yeah, just a quick throw, but to create an explosive 50-yard play like that, it took a lot of good blocks, and Kelvin Banks with a good one. There's Cole Hudson hustling down the field. There's Gunnar Helm. That's how you explode that. And nice running, the vision by Trey Wisner to let those blocks be set up. And the Longhorns are up 21-0 in control of this ball game. And as you said, Jerry, when Texas has been stopped in this game, they stopped themselves.
Yeah.
And, it feels like the number, this one could get out of control pretty crisp. And we talked about that to start the broadcast, Coach. This is Florida on the fourth game of a really physical 4-game stretch where they played, Tennessee and Kentucky and Georgia last week. If you can build a lead like this, it's going to be hard for them to find the gas in the tank to mount a comeback.
Yeah, it is. And if you're Florida and you've experienced the losses that they've experienced this year, you got to be going, oh, no. Here we go. I mean,
Coach,
Texas could have done jump out to a touchdown lead.
Coach, we hadn't done a show together this week, but think about this from a Texas perspective. Think about Manny Muhammad can't play, Jahdae Barron can't play, and Gavin Holmes can't play. What would your secondary look like? And I'm not saying Florida's first 3 were as good as Texas' first 3, but Jason Marshall's considered a mid-round draft pick, and the young kid that got hurt, Jakeem Jackson, I saw him in high school. He's a future NFL draft pick. And the Devin Moore kid from Naples is a good player. So think about taking your top 3 corners off the field in a game and then going out and playing Texas offense and speed. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Yep, it is a good start for Texas. There's been some sputters in there, but 21-0. Quinn Ewers now 12 of 18 for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Longhorns are spreading the ball around offensively. And, Quinn hasn't been the sharpest, but the Longhorns have 228 total yards to 88. This says ass whooping in progress, boys. Pull up a chair. Well, I'm sitting in mine. You guys are all got yours. Crack open a cold one if you need to, as the Longhorns in control. While I got both you guys here in the second quarter and time, we're brought to you by Texas Countertops here in the second quarter. Best countertops in Austin and all through Texas, Central Texas. Hey guys, the game coming up, Ole Miss and Georgia. Jerry, what's your gut tell you on that ball game?
If Carson Beck plays well, Georgia wins, but he has not played well in SEC play. So that makes it a complete toss-up. Georgia's the better team. They have the better personnel. If Carson Beck plays, if Carson Beck plays well, they're the best team in the country, but he hasn't. So it's hard to say when you go on the road. I mean, that's the tough thing for me. The guy's thrown 11 interceptions in last 5 SEC games. I mean, he's on pace for like 15 interceptions in an SEC season. That's an unbelievably wild number for a second-year starting quarterback that has really good personnel around. I mean, all 5 of his offensive linemen are going to play in the NFL. I mean, like all of them. His running back's an NFL player. I mean, he's got really good personnel around him, and he's got to play at a higher level for Georgia to match. Same thing with Quinn, but it's different because Beck's making more mistakes than Quinn. Beck's if he plays relatively well, I like Georgia in that game.
Georgia Tech up on Miami 14-10 in the second quarter, midway through the second quarter.
Keep an eye there. That's what I said this morning on the pregame show I did on the radio, that watch for that, because Georgia Tech's one of those teams with Haynes King back in. They can keep the ball away from you with that running game, and that can frustrate a guy like Cam Ward who likes to go score the ball. This is how do incoming running back recruits compare to the current running backs in terms of play style from the destroyer there. Thank you, Osas. What do you say there, Jared? The running back recruits comparisons?
Say that again, Aaron.
How do the incoming running back recruits compare to the current running backs on the team?
Yeah. So James Simon is a lot like Cedric Baxter for me. Really good inside zone between the tackles runner. Going to have really good hands. Going to be really advanced in pass pro. His father, John Simon, tremendous running back at La Tech and played in the NFL briefly. He's been a college coach for about 15 years. I think was an OC running back coach. He's going to be well ahead of the game, and he comes in January. So I think that'll help. Ricky Stewart, a lot like Trey Wisner for me, very similar players. He's going to come in built like Trey Wisner, like a more of a wiry, strong wide receiver than a running back. So it'll take his frame time, but that's who I would compare those two guys to in terms of how they play. I'm not saying Simon's as good as Cedric Baxter because I love Cedric Baxter coming out of high school and pre-injuries, but Simon's going to be ahead of the game from a all-around running back standpoint like Cedric Baxter was.
And, of course, C.J. Baxter will be back next year, healthy, they hope, and he'll be back atop that backfield. You cross your fingers for the Longhorns. Penalty here, and you're watching this drive, guys, already. This is the challenge for Billy Napier now, down 3 scores. You really can't change your offense. You can't get out of what you want to do because it's what they call personal foul.
But they called that on Jalen Gilbo.
Wow. That's a penalty. That's a mistake. You just gave 15 yards to a team that's having a hard time moving the ball. But we'll see if we can get a replay on that. But point being, you got 3 scores here. If you have more veteran quarterback guys, you probably open it up a little bit. With a third-string quarterback, you really can't go there, I don't think, right? We saw this with Michigan earlier this year that, Oklahoma, once you get behind, you really have to just stick with what you do.
One thing I'll give Napier credit for, he's still been trying to throw it down the field because I think Coach, he knows if he doesn't, he's got to do something to keep the Texas players back. He's at least tried it and stayed in there and continued to try to throw the ball down the field, if nothing else, just to keep Texas honest. And he did get a coverage bust one time. I think they just have to attack, but I think he's got to go for it on 4th downs from here on out. Good pressure up the gut on that play.
Yeah, and coverage behind it. That according to our scorebook here, the penalty was actually called on Michael Taft, that 15-yard penalty. I didn't ever see a replay of it, but that's what the scorebook says, that Michael Taft drew that 15-yarder. Longhorns do get the first down stop, so now it'll be 2nd and long at midfield. But this is I'm with you there, Jerry. This is 4 down territory for Billy Napier. You got to be thinking 7 points before this half is over. Yeah,
no doubt about it. Let's see. Big Sadir Mitchell was in again. They're back in the 3-man front with Moore playing as a stand-up, or is it more Colin Simmons playing as a stand-up spot there?
Yeah, good push that. Yeah, good push that time for that Georgia interior. This is what we talk about. Longhorns up 21, but this is an SEC line. Even with the injury to Damian George, they're big and physical, and they're getting a little bit of a push there. But Longhorns will let them run the ball they want.
Yeah, and big Sadir Mitchell back in there again. Look, this is the most meaningful action in his Texas career. It's good to see. It's good to see Sadir Mitchell. It tells you 2 important things. One, it continues to tell you how talented he is, and Texas didn't give up on him when they could have.
Well, and he stuck with it, right, through some frustrations and maybe a suspension. That's two-way street. Good for Sadir.
Yeah, Florida able to convert here and get a first down, keep the drive alive.
Yeah, they're getting a good push with the run game, and but again, I think, Coach, I mean, Texas will give you that if this is a long drive to kick a field goal or even a touchdown. Your clock's your friend now if you're Texas up 21 points.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Napier has a little play calling leeway here, on the Texas 37, 1st and 10 here. See what he comes. A lot of it's jet motion. Then they run counters, and then they were starting to have the QB run game. They don't have the QB run game, so interesting to see where they go. But a lot of things through that jet motion fake, and now they're going to run a little quick counter.
Yeah, they're getting a push.
Bring up a 2nd and 4. Good 6-yard gain for the Gators on that play.
Jacoby Jackson with the run there. 24.
Yeah.
It's been ball most of the game. But, yeah, this is a good push. Part of this is Florida. You think they want to go get a quick score. Same time, they don't want to put the Texas offense back on the field before because, they have a chance. They do get the ball coming out of halftime, so you could double dip here if you're Billy Napier. Get a score here and then get the ball coming out.
Yeah, nice sack by Texas there to create a big 3rd down play for the Gators.
Did the ball come out? Possible? No. Looks like the quarterback got it back. That was Trey Moore that time. He's having a heck of a first half here.
Having a
recovery.
Yeah, huge play here for Florida. If they want to get any momentum going in the second half and the first half, they've got to convert this 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and it's 2-down territory. I don't think you settle for field goals here, as Jerry has said. But now going to approach the 2-minute timeout here. We'll see if they do run another play or give themselves a chance to think about it. And, they want to accomplish 2 things here, guys. They want to get this first down, but they don't need Texas getting the ball back before the half. And Texas can't get the ball back if they don't until, their first drive of the second half, which Florida gets the ball. So we'll see. 2-minute timeout. Kind of thought they were going to bleed this thing, and Texas has a chance. Our second quarter, brought to you by our new partner here on the On Texas channel. The best countertops in Austin are Texas countertops. So trust me on that. If you have a remodeling project coming your way or you're thinking about it, go to the website, countertoptexas.com. Get to know my friend Chris Nixon and his team. They've been doing this a long, long time. Chris, it's 04. Chris is a local Austinite, lived here his whole life, and wants to be your countertop provider with his team there. They are phenomenal. They do residential. Obviously, they've also done plenty of restaurants and things of that nature. So whatever it might be, granite quartz, soapstone, quartzite, concrete, doesn't matter. And as I said, their quick turnaround is really what separates them. Their attention to detail and the extra level of care is there, but you won't go a single day without a countertop. They'll rip out the existing countertops in the morning of your installation, and they'll put the new one right there, and it'll be on by dinner time. That's the quick turnaround. They're diligently matched patterns with the veins across to make them as seamless as possible. They really are the best in Austin. Can't go wrong with new countertops of any kind. So if you flip houses or are going to do your own, go to Texas Countertops at Countertop Texas. Big 3rd down here, guys. Good coverage for the Longhorns, and they're going to get pressure.
Really good pressure there. He had a man wide open. They're going to get him on a late hit.
No, holding. I think they're getting holding Florida.
I believe it's against Florida. They're going to move them back for holding against Barber, 58. One of the stats that's just crazy to me, I didn't think we would see with Texas having a 3-touchdown lead, is our running backs have 7 yards rushing.
Right.
That's obviously you've got the bond with the 44-yard rush, but without that, our running backs, we've only
6 carries for 7 yards, Coach. Not what you want to see going into Arkansas and A&M.
Yeah. Well, but I will also say that, and that's something they can come work on, I think, in the second half. But against this banged up secondary, it might be the way to build this lead. And because you see the big boys that Florida does have in their front 7. But yes, you're going to have to get better at that because Florida's actually running the ball better than Texas right now, no doubt about that. But Texas has three scores on the board. Well, that penalty is huge. That was a huge turn of events for Texas here because now, Georgia, it's going to be 3rd and 14. And that's not, if Texas can hold, then they kind of have to kick the field goal. but they're at the 41, guys. I mean, they've got to get back into field goal range at this point after that holding call. So opportunity here, and with minute 58 to go, Texas realistically can get the ball back and try to get points of their own before the half.
Yeah, I would look for Texas to call a timeout if this is not an incomplete pass, on this play, to give them time to get down, and it would be a huge advantage for Texas to go up 28-0 at halftime.
And by the way, people were saying in the chat, yes, Colin Simmons was a blur off the edge on that third down play. And they had multiple guys with pressure on that play. That was a really good job of disruption of timing there, because somebody broke open late, but Warner had too much pressure in his face to get the ball there.
Simmons might end up having a decent career. Yeah, it looks like it. He's off and running. One of those special freshmen. The Longhorns have a couple of them there. And to your running game point, Coach, it was good to see Jarrett Gibson in the game in the first half. Maybe we see more of Jarrett in that second half as they try to milk the lead. That's one guy I was really impressed with the early touchdowns, but really hadn't seen much field time in the SEC games. He's a guy that can help you with the power running game here in these crucial games in November.
Yeah, I look for him to come out the second half and take some time off the clock and try to get your running game established. And Jarrett Gibson is a guy who should get a good percentage of those carries, in my opinion.
Also should mention that Trey Wisner is the leading receiver for Texas right now out of the backfield. That long run, that 50-yard touchdown helps that. He's 3 catches for 59 yards and that score, but on the ground so far, not much. I wonder if Sark's just getting tired of the holding calls, so he's not calling the run plays, because it seems like that's where those come with Trey Wisner trying to get outside. So those can derail a drive. And Jerry, I think Sark sees it, right? I mean, the protection has been good ever since that first drive. That resulted in the sack. They've been better, and the guys are running wide open in the secondary, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, this game's all about offensive line giving Quinn time, or pass protection, running backs as well. If they give Quinn time, this secondary doesn't have a chance to hold up. I mean, not minus your top 3 corners. They've had to move one safety to nickel at times this year that they didn't want to have to do before the season. So they've been dealt a pretty bad, rough hand as far as injuries go, and they just can't keep up with the speed and playmaking to Texas. If Quinn has time, and that includes Gunnar Helm, because I think the linebackers are their issue in coverage. Even when their team was healthy, that was more the area people could attack with them. So Texas has a lot of advantages if Quinn has time and actually has time for Sark's plays to develop. And we say that, and look, Quinn's 12-18. It was I'm not going to say it was underthrown to DeAndre Moore. It was a bad trajectory. That ball had too much air to DeAndre Moore. But still, if you say, okay, he catches it and falls down, because he wasn't going to score on that play because the ball was underthrown, I mean, you're still looking at 13 of 18, and then Quinn's missed a couple as well. Great corner blitz.
That time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jalen Gilbaugh off the slot, and the Longhorns are going to force a punt here. And you're right, Coach. Timeout, Texas, or a change of possession timeout. But that was big. Pete Kwiatkowski, Johnny Nansen dialing it up and bringing Jalen Gilbaugh off the short slot. Yeah, just nobody to block him. Good play, Texas. The defense all year long, guys. We are about to be halfway through the 9th game, and the Longhorns have still only allowed 9 touchdowns all season long.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
Yeah, they're playing at an elite level right now on that side of the ball. Getting off the field again, and the Longhorns will have a timeout and 1:53 to go for Quinn to add to Quinn Ewers to a 177 yards and 3 touchdowns stat book in the first quarter here, or the first half. Longhorns up 21-0. The On Texas Football watch along, always a good time. And what a beautiful day. If you are in Central Texas, hopefully you're outside on a patio somewhere watching this watch along, because it is a perfect November day.
Hey, Coach, what would you do here at the end of this half? So you're up 21-0. If Florida does get the ball, that ball's in the end zone. So good. So Texas gets on the 12. Okay, I was going to say if they got pinned back inside the 10, but that changes the game now with 1 timeout. I was going to say if you had the ball inside the 10 with only 1 timeout, what would you do if you're Sark? But we don't have to talk about that now because the ball's on the 20. So it'll be interesting to see. Look, if you're Florida, you're bringing numbers. I'm bringing the blitz. If I give up a deep touchdown and Quinn hits one, oh, well, I'm down 21-0. But I'm bringing numbers. I'm not letting Texas get comfortable on this drive. Not with one timeout and a minute 40 to go. I'm bringing numbers. I'm going to be ultra aggressive. I'm already getting blown out.
Yeah, I think eventually you'll see Texas taking some shots down. Not much time off the clock on that first down play. A second and 7, I think. I think you'll see a little bit surprised. Safeties deeper if you're if you're the Gators.
They're in that 2 deep shell with one corner off, or I guess they both kind of were moved up to a press position because they can't play off against Texas.
Or you can throw it to your running back and let him make a play. I say throw it to the running back and let him make a play.
Yeah, there you go. And there goes Jaden Blue. Wow, look out. Look out.
But we have a flag on the play.
Uh-oh. Are they bringing it back? Another Texas.
Back.
Yeah, that was going to be a huge play and a scoring opportunity. Now Texas, again, a penalty. All too often, the Longhorns have big plays, and you look down and there's a yellow hanky on the turf there. But let's see what they call.
Where they threw that, it's not even going to be a first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1. Oh no, it was first down. Okay, it was a little farther down.
No, I think they call that. They
threw it right there at the 49. Okay.
Yeah, I think they call that on Bond.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, he was blocking, and then Jaden made one of those cuts, and his defender went to cut with him, and they said no foul. All right, no foul for holding. Nice job. Because I never saw a penalty alert come up on our screen here. So Longhorns in business again, and that's a throw Quinn doesn't need to make right there.
That was actually his worst throw of the game.
I agree with you on that. And that was put the ball into trouble there when it didn't need to be. This is to get a field goal or a touchdown, but no sacks, no turnovers here with 1:26 to go. Chance to go up, more than 3 scores.
Quinn throwing off the back of his foot, his back feet. Yeah. Wow.
Well, there it is. Matthew Golden. Wow.
Hey, watch this. You're going to like the dance that Quinn does with his linemen.
As a coach a little ahead of us here on the watch.
A little ahead, yeah.
There you go. Quinn Ewers' 4th touchdown pass of the first half. He's at 257 yards, and Matthew Golden has 2 touchdowns today.
Yeah, and look, I said before the season, based on things I was told, that Matthew Golden had the best rapport with Quinn. And he is his red zone guy. He is his third down, knows where he's going to be every single time. Coach, there's a reason Matthew Golden plays the most snaps of any wideout. The only guys that play more snaps than him are the offensive line and quarterback. That says a lot for what Sark and the staff thinks of Matthew Golden.
Yeah, my son Jackson Chipley has been to several practices, and he is just he watches Matthew Golden every game, and he said, "Dad, I'm telling you, he's the guy." He told me this weeks and weeks ago, and I said, "Well, I hadn't." He said, "I'm just telling you, he is the guy. He does everything right. His routes are great. His work ethic is great. If you just watch him and just focus on him, he's the best receiver on the team." And it turns out that's true. I mean, at least in production, he's starting to really produce for this Longhorn offense.
Yep, and the Longhorn offense has produced 28 points. Great point by Coach Chipley there, and vis-a-vis via his son. That's pretty good stuff. Because if Matthew Golden's your best receiver, well, that tells you a lot. Because Isaiah Bond's really good, and DeAndre Moore is a really good player. That's a wealth of riches there. But Quinn Ewers with his 4th TD throw of the first half, and the only time Texas has stopped themselves in this first half is when they have made mistakes, missed balls, and up over 300 yards now.
What is this dance? Is this a Fred Flintstone dance or what?
I'm not the person to ask about dances. I'll tell you that. Hey, by the way, here's the funny thing.
I don't know what that is.
Here's the funny thing. We're saying, okay, Texas 2-minute offense. Well, there's still a minute and 19 left. They may get the ball back again. if Napier throws it a couple times. I mean, Texas has a timeout left. If Napier doesn't come out and just run this on first and second down, he's nuts. If he tries to throw it and stops the clock, and Texas can stop the clock and at least get a punt return, he better run it on first and second down and get to the locker room.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. You've got to – what? Here's – oh, man, these big linemen with their quarterback dancing again. It's so funny. I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead of you guys, but
no, you're good.
I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, Hayden Connor, Quinn Ewers, the big fellas, and Quinn doing some dancing. Yeah. Jake majors. Jake does not major. Jake does not major in dancing. That's for sure, right? He does not. But
that's a good one. Good one, Aaron.
Hey, looking, it's a good first half. Despite the issues, a holding call here, drop ball here, Longhorns misprotection here. They're still up 28-0, showing the explosive, firepower. And the defense continues to do what they do. Let's see what they can get off the field here. 1:19 to go. Remember, Florida does get the ball coming out of halftime, so see how aggressive Florida is with their offense here. Yeah, they're going to run the ball.
Yeah, and a pretty good run.
Yeah, good tackle by Michael Taffy. He had to kind of steer wrestle him to the ground, or he was the last line of defense there.
Yeah, not great run defense on first down, guys. That's not what you wanted.
Nope, and that gets them going a little bit. They got a first down. They're out to the 38-yard line, 37-yard line. Oh, that's going to be an interception for Texas. Wow.
Coach, I don't know what to say, man. This is what gets you fired. This is what gets you fired.
That was tipped by Collins.
I mean, this is what gets you fired in this business. They just gave you the vote of confidence tweet the other day. I mean, golly, man.
Alfred Collins with the tip, got his big paw up there that fluttered that ball, and
13th interception by the Longhorns. They lead the SEC in interceptions. What a great opportunity to go up 35-0.
Yeah. So look, that was Ty Anthony Smith, first career interception. Coach, I don't know what to say, man. You were going to get the ball to start the second half. You're already getting blown out. Run the ball and get out of the half. Now you're about to be down 35-0 at halftime. I don't understand that at all, man. I mean, I'm 0-0. I get it, but god dang. They just gave you a vote of confidence. They're going to delete the tweet at halftime.
I don't either.
Here comes Silas Bolden. You're now into field goal range. If you can get out of bounds, that'd be even better, and he's going to.
Everything's a punt return with Silas Bolden, Coach.
Yeah, I love Silas. I love Silas.
Yeah, he's like trying to catch a butterfly, man. That guy is
Buddy Powell, chief big guy, says Bolden is a human joystick, and that's true. Oh,
a little stiff arm. Yeah, bringing it. Longhorns are into Michael Burt Auburn field goal range at this point, 48 seconds still, thinking touchdown. Is that going to be 5 in the first half? DeAndre Moore, did he hold it? Nope, he bobbled that ball. That's going to be 2.
Yeah. He did not have possession of that ball all the way through.
Oh, DeAndre out of character today.
Yeah, he is. That was a good throw by Quinn.
That was a great throw by Quinn. I mean, look, that's one of the things we talk about. Those guys have to help Quinn too. That should have been his 5th touchdown of the half. That was his best throw today. I totally agree, Ryan Nelson. Dang it.
Real good throw. And, it's been a weird half for DeAndre Moore coming off that huge game at Vanderbilt. He's dropped a couple.
Yeah, and that was a bad one.
Yeah, that was a perfect throw. All right, another good read by Quinn, but may not matter. Jaden Blue's down to the 5-yard line. Longhorns do have a timeout. Do they use it right here?
I don't even know if you need to.
Running backs out of the backfield continue to be huge here for Texas. I mean, both of those guys are having huge. They're not running the ball much, but they're doing great things in a passing game. And here comes Jaden Blue, touchdown, Texas.
Wow, 35-0. Wow. Who would have thunk it?
This is a skunking, guys, here in Austin, Texas on the On Texas Football channel. Texas Countertops, thanks for the good luck. Longhorns have put 21 points on the board in this second quarter, and the Longhorns have blown open an SEC game. This might be pretty early Arch Manning time come second half. I mean, this is the opportunity you're presenting yourself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach, I just want to ask you this, man. I mean, look, I can't believe he didn't run the ball at the end of the half.
No, big, huge mistake, and he knows it. I promise you right now, if he was double jointed, he'd be kicking himself in the butt.
Great. Yes. I mean, it's 28-0. You're lucky it's 28-0. Texas has given up a couple of touchdowns. Just get to the half, man. You get the ball to start the second half. My gosh, this is what gets you fired. They just gave you a vote of confidence. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, you're undermanned as is. Obviously, you're getting rolled, but you get the ball out of half. I think everything Jerry just said is spot on. But give Alfred Collins credit. This Texas defense continues to make plays. Alfred Collins getting his hand up. 13 interception now, leads the NCAA, leads college football for that, and taking advantage of a wounded team and looking like a team that's coming out of the bye week. 35 first half points. Quinn Ewers. He would have had his 5th touchdown. He would have been well over 300 yards passing in the first half, if not for the drop ball by DeAndre Moore. I think Quinn's going to talk to DeAndre at halftime, Jerry, and say, man, I was going to set records if you catch the ball in this first half. What's going on over there?
And another interesting thing about the first half is, did we really miss Vernon Broughton?
No.
Well,
they got some pretty good push. We'll see what changes.
Yeah, they did.
15 carries for 73 from the running backs. That's literally all Florida's got. By the way, we have a really funny thing I need to respond to, Aaron. You'll appreciate this.
Here we go.
Joe Kay said they won't fire Sunbelt Billy because they're going to have to fire the basketball coach, but they won't have to pay the basketball coach. That's going to be with cause.
Yes, that's a weird story, man. That is disturbing.
Coach, have you heard about the Florida basketball coach, Todd Golden?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be a fire with cause, so they won't have to eat any money on that deal.
So who would have thought Texas would be leading 35-0 in the first half, apparently, which is what it's going to be, and have 12 yards rushing from the running backs?
Yeah.
Well, and that's we kind of started the broadcast with how banged up Florida is in their secondary. Top 3 corners are down. They're shuffling guys, and Sark has obviously just attacked that this whole game. And I'm with you, Coach. I think second half, I mean, you could see some backups, but you also need to start getting this running game established, and then work on that into the Arkansas game. Kentucky beyond that. But what a first half! What a second quarter! Texas Countertops brought it to. We appreciate them very, very much. Chris Nixon and his team. Call them 836-5900. CountertopTexas.com. Go see their whole gallery of work, and great website they have there. CountertopTexas.com. Even with some mistakes, guys, it's a 35-0 lead at half. Some stuff to clean up, 3 penalties, a couple drop passes, also a missed protection early by DJ Campbell. Got Quinn hit pretty good. But other than that, man, Trey Moore played one heck of a first half defensively. I thought there's this Texas defense continues to just play at a championship level on that side of the ball.
Coach, all you really want to clean up at halftime is interior rush defense. Is getting off blocks, maybe not getting out of your gap a little bit, because Jaden Ball makes the one and linebacker play. One thing about the Ball kid, he makes you pay if you false step or get out of your gap. He's got really good vision. He's got the jump cut, the skip cut, and he really reads the backers and reads things in front of him like a veteran running back. So that is one area they're going to have to clean up. And then, as you said, they don't have to run the ball better in a game like this. They need to, though. They need to.
Not in a game like this, but in the games we have upcoming,
That's right.
You have to be able to run the ball.
Yep.
And what a perfect opportunity Texas has now. Just turn the second half into a practice and just work on your running game. Just, experiment with some things or some personnel or whatever. I think they need to get some guys off the field personally, because we've got some big games coming up. Certainly don't expect to see Quinn much in the second half. Maybe the first series, maybe not. I don't know. But we all know that we've seen Arch come in a situation somewhat like this. And what does he do? He airs that mother out. I mean, he's going over the top. So unless they, tighten up the reins on him a little bit, this could get even uglier. But I do think we need to focus on trying to get that running game established, because there are teams that will be able to do some things to slow down our passing game. And you know, you can't be a one-dimensional team in this conference. Obviously, you have to be able to be a multi-dimensional team and be excellent in all three phases of the game. Our kickoff coverage has been great this game. I mean, we haven't – I don't even know if we've given the ball when they've returned it. I don't even know if they've got past the 20-yard line yet.
No, they haven't. 25 on the fair catch. That's it. That's as far as they've gone. Somebody asked in that about recruits at the game. Well, it's kind of funny that Texas is playing Florida. The two official visitors this weekend are Grayson Littleton, the four-star corner out of Tampa Wiregrass Ranch, actually Wesley Chapel, northeast of Tampa. I saw him Monday. That's going to be a Texas-Michigan decision for the former Clemson commit. I love him as a player. Really good corner nickel prospect out of the Sunshine State. Then the other official visitors from Tampa as well. That is a linebacker, Kellen Wiley, out of Sefner Armwood High, where that big number 21 Desmond Watson for Florida D lineman played high school football. Kellen Wiley, a Miami lean over Texas and Florida. Oof, coming into this game, let's just say Texas. A Miami lean over Texas coming into this game. This is the first time he's ever been to Texas. So the two official visitors today are both Sunshine State kids, and they're both watching Texas smoke Florida.
Yeah, no doubt.
And look, and there's Coach, the first half of this game, again, here's what's interesting to me. How long would you play Quinn in the second half of this game? And I ask this because he's had a good game. Okay, look, he's throwing a couple of bad balls. He's throwing 25 balls. He's had a couple of drops. Like DeAndre Moore dropped a touchdown. They still scored. Moore dropped the deep ball that really wasn't a pass where a wide receiver can run through, but he should have made the catch at the same time. There's some good memories to take into Arkansas right now. So my question is, how much do you play him in the second half?
One series at the most.
Keep him healthy, too. Get him out of this game healthy.
If Florida doesn't score on the opening drive, put Arch in. Keep Quinn healthy. Let Quinn in the game on a really hot streak. And
don't let him take some weak blindside hit midway through the third quarter to shake him physically again. Let him get a series. If you score, get him out. Let Arch get some valuable playing time. That's where I'm at. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that, guys. 100%. Yeah, and now you can decide if you want to even put Vernon Broughton in the game. You can give him a week off.
That's a great point.
You know what I do? I'd play Vernon a lot and sit Alfred a lot in the second half. Alfred's played well again. You get him to the Arkansas game healthy. He doesn't need to go out there and play 20 snaps this half. He's had 3 really good games in a row. Let him sit. Let him take most of the second half off after the first series or two. That's what I would do. Let Vernon play there. Get Lole more time. Sadir Mitchell can still play over the ball in the bear front. Let Alex January get some time. I would actually sit Alfred Collins a lot in the second half of this game.
Good call.
Yeah. By the way, Georgia Tech up on Miami 14-10 at halftime. And I really, really have the Georgia at Ole Miss game circled. That could be a trap for Georgia for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's Waterloo for Ole Miss, right? They can't lose that game if they want to have any hopes of playing beyond the regular season, and they got to have it. So they'll be the desperate team. That's how Georgia played when they came to Texas. They were the desperate team, knowing they couldn't drop another one. Texas hadn't taken a loss yet, and a lot of times you see that the more desperate team, and Ole Miss is certainly going to be that on their home field at 2:30 today. Some other big numbers. Ohio State's up big on Purdue, 21-0. How about Texas State? The Bobcats leading Louisiana Monroe, 28-0. You mentioned that Georgia Tech game. That Georgia Tech keeping the ball away from Cam Ward. They've got Haynes King back in the game, I believe. Their starting quarterback had been injured, and they've got him held to 10 points. That game is in Atlanta, so keep an eye on that early on here. And obviously those huge games to come here in the middle window and the late window. How about guys out in Lubbock, that Colorado Texas Tech game at 2:30? That's a fun game too, where Deion Sanders' team got to sit back and watch K-State and Iowa State lose last week. They're right back in the mix in the Big 12 if they can win in Lubbock. Joey McGuire's team, meanwhile, went into Iowa State and derailed that Iowa State perfect season. So both teams come in with a lot of confidence today, and in that game out probably be a shootout. Because we know what Shedeur Sanders is, Jerry, but Texas Tech has the worst pass defense in the Big 12.
Oh, yeah. Look, if Colorado pass protects well, they will win the game, even though it's in Lubbock, in my opinion, because Tech's defense has been so bad. If they pass protect well, and Tech has struggled getting to the quarterback this year, boy, that's a really good setup for Shedeur Sanders, the two really good wideouts, and then Travis Hunter. Colorado's fixed some offensive line issues they had early in the year, especially first couple of games of the year. Their offensive lines got better. The freshman's going to be a future high NFL draft pick, but their offensive line is greatly improved as the season has moved along, and that's given Shedeur time to get the ball to a really good group of wideouts. And I like Colorado in that game because, like you said, Aaron, Tech's defense has been horrible. The biggest thing I saw that came out of last week in the Big 12 for me was how it affects the playoff, though, because with Iowa State being undefeated and losing, and Kansas State being a one-loss team and losing at U of H, before last weekend, we were like, could two Big 12 teams get in the playoff? Now it looks like one is what would happen to me, and things can still change. But if the Big 12 only gets one team in, I think that pretty much guarantees four for the SEC. Then the other thing that's still out there is does Notre Dame get upset? I think at USC is their only chance. Maybe Lincoln Riley rises up and upsets Notre Dame. But if Notre Dame gets upset, then you could have – that would open up a scenario where you could get a 3-loss team in the playoff. That we didn't think would happen 2 weeks ago. Now that's at least potential on the table if the Big 12 only gets in one team and Notre Dame gets upset here at USC.
So are you saying that Big 12 team would be BYU?
I think right now, my issue, and they play at Utah today, right?
Right. Yes, it's 9:15 tonight. The whole war.
So the question would be is, let's say a 2-loss. Let's just say throw it out there, a 2-loss Colorado for some reason they run the table, and if they beat BYU, does BYU get in at 11-1? Do they still get in the playoff at 11-1? Like in the scenario last week. If Iowa State had gone in with one loss in a Big 12, let's just say that maybe they still do. Maybe they have one loss. I just don't know in a scenario like that where if you have a 1-loss and a 1-loss, maybe two teams get in. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the committee does with the Big 12. I just don't know how much margin for error BYU has, although their win at SMU helps them. I don't know. That'd
be my one argument, Jerry. That if Colorado wins out, and let's say it's Deion Sanders' team that gets there, upsets BYU, they'll obviously get in as the conference champion. Yeah. And then at that point, BYU would have a case that one loss to a red hot Colorado, and we did beat SMU, who by that time SMU might be in the top 10 because of the upsets that are going to happen. They have a bye week at SMU this week, and they have 3 very winnable games to the ACC title game. I think all 3 teams that SMU plays to come are all 4-4 right now. So there's an opportunity there that BYU can say, wait a second, we have one of the best wins on the board. Nobody realized it back in September, but we beat that SMU team. That could be a scenario too, but I think you're right. I think we're moving towards one bid at the Big 12. ACC might be in that boat too, but SMU throws a monkey wrench in that potentially if they do meet Miami. But as you said, Coach, Miami's got to handle Georgia Tech today in Atlanta. They're already down at halftime.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this day shakes out because there's a lot of people that will basically eliminate themselves to a certain extent.
In that Miami Georgia Tech game, Cam Ward 9 of 18, 133, TD, no interception. So not having a huge game, by the way, against Georgia Tech. Haynes King back. They've played both quarterbacks in that game, but it's really been Jamal Haynes, who's a really good running back out of the Atlanta area. Was probably an under-recruited kid. Was a 4-star kid, but really good. It just goes back to what we said. Georgia can't take all these guys, especially if you're going to nationally recruit. And you've seen Jamal Haynes, a really good running back at Georgia Tech, a sophomore there. And Jaden Ball, the freshman at Florida, I think is going to be a tremendous player. So a lot of talent. There's a reason that Chassard Choice and Sark and Kenny Baker and the staff wants to recruit in Georgia. A lot of talent in that Atlanta metro area, and Georgia can't take them all. So you just got to be willing to get in the battle and stay in the battle.
100% agree with that. And Longhorns handling their business up 35-0 here. One thing's for sure, guys. I mean, I know when the 12-team playoff was announced, there were some, not many, but some people argued that this would minimize the regular season and its importance. I mean, obviously the opposite has happened. Before, when there were only 4 spots, a team like Ole Miss would already be out, right? I mean, teams would already be on the outside looking in and kind of planning for a bowl game. Now you've got all these teams, there are probably 20 teams that still think they've got a shot at the playoff.
Yeah.
And you have these games like today that are essentially elimination games. I don't know. The college football has never been more compelling to me because so many teams are still in it, and there's so much still to play out before we even get to the 12-team playoff.
I think college football is in the best place it's ever been, and when it goes to 16, it'll be even better. I mean, Boise State. Think about the Boise State fan base. Think about the SMU fan base. I mean, think about all those years Boise State, Aaron, thought they should have been in the hunt, but were never given a chance to be in the hunt, right? Now they get to live out their dream. Okay, we always thought we should be there. If we went out, we're in a college football playoff. This is awesome. Indiana football.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana football's got a choke coming down the stretch not to make a college football playoff. I mean, that makes this game amazing right now. Amazing. I think it's in a great spot. I think we're moving towards profit sharing, which will happen. I think that will ease some of the fans' concerns about NIL and where the college games go, and as we continue to work through that in college football. But college football from a fan perspective, I've never seen it better than this. I mean, never. It just can't. This is the first time, like you said, Ole Miss fans walk into the stadium today saying, if we beat Georgia, man, it didn't look good, but we can still make the college football playoff. In the past, if you had 2 losses, you're looking at Orlando for Gator Bowl tickets.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's well said. I mean, it's kept so many people with a lot to play for. Heck, Colorado, Colorado wins out. They could be, Deion Sanders' team could win a Big 12 championship. I mean, that's still all out there, and it makes it incredibly compelling. By the way, that revenue sharing and what's coming, that's been part of my argument why maybe they do keep Billy Napier when it's over, because, can you afford to buy him out, hire a new coach, and then start paying players? I mean, that may be in existence by next year. And not to mention the calendar and the locker room and all that. You don't want to keep a bad coach, but at the same time, it's costly. And where are you going to get all this money? And while the donors, a lot of them, Coach Chipley, are giving money because they want to be able to go pay the players, right? They want the players to get the money, not buying out coaches. I mean, there's a lot to determine with these. I don't want to be an AD right now if I don't have the right coach in place. That is a tough situation.
And if you get rid of Napier, do you keep your quarterback?
That's right.
Lagway is he's a Napier recruited guy from the state of Texas. And I don't know. They've got some big decisions to make in Florida.
Well, I know if he got in the portal, I know there's a school down in College Station that'd love to go get him. I mean, that guy is from Willis, Texas.
No doubt.
I mean,
hey, Aaron, people are already trying to recruit him.
I'm sure. I'm sure there are. Hey, One Source Gas of Austin and Central Texas is our halftime sponsor. Appreciate them. They are your Texas compressed gas leader. Any compressed gas in any industry, they got you covered better than anybody. 13 years, locally owned and operated. Whether it's CO2 for your beer taps at your restaurant or bar, soda machines, all the things that keep you going. Medical industry, industrial as well. It is One Source Gas of Austin, up and down I-35. They are your Texas compressed gas leader. Find them at onesourcegasatx.com. Spell out that word one, of course. Onesourcegasatx.com, bringing you halftime. Yeah, this is, we love doing these watch-alongs, but it's kind of fun to be thinking about what the second half strategy will be, Coach, when it's about who's going to be on the field. How soon do we see Arch Manning? How soon do we see some new bodies? I think we all thought Texas would win this game, but I don't think we thought that would be our halftime conversations about how long do we see Quinn and those type of things. Mute.
Coach, you're muted.
Coach, you're muted.
I expect to see Quinn be on the bench starting the second half unless Florida happens to score. But if certainly by the second drive, I expect to see Arch in the game.
Yeah,
agree with that. And by the way, I just looked at the box score of that Miami-Georgia Tech game. The one thing I mentioned is, Georgia Tech can keep the ball away from you, right? And they have 19 minutes of time of possession in the first half to 11, 19 to 11 right now. So they're executing their game plan, and they're keeping Cam Ward off the field. Keep an eye on that right now with Georgia Tech in Atlanta. We've seen them. They could just chew up first downs and chew up yards. That game will be over before Miami wants it to if they're not careful. So keep an eye there. 35-0 Texas. Second, and we'll head into the third quarter here coming up on the On Texas channel. But Quinn Ewers, guys, if he doesn't play much, I mean, 297, 4 touchdowns. We know the 2 DeAndre Moore drops. It could have been a record-setting first half for him. Could have been a 5-touchdown, 350-yard kind of first half for him. But there were some throws he'd like to have back. But, you'll take that Quinn Ewers, the rest of the way. You can win a lot of football games with that number 3.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is where we're at with Quinn, Coach, is if you don't pressure Quinn, he is an elite intermediate game thrower of the football.
No doubt.
If you do pressure Quinn, then it's a totally different game. And Florida, they had the 1 sack on the twist stunt where DJ Campbell didn't pick it up. Other than that, Quinn's had time, and which means Sark has time for his plays to develop. They have a personnel advantage in this game, but Quinn's making the throws, and so that's where I'm at on Quinn. And I don't think anything's going to change my opinion. Aaron, is look, if he has a pocket, he is a high-level thrower. Doesn't mean every throw is perfect, but he's a high-level thrower in the college game, especially in the intermediate game. If you bring pressure on him, he hasn't proven to be a playmaker in those situations. And that's that's going to be his big question mark, not so much in college, but the next level, because you have to be a playmaker moving from within the pocket on the NFL level, because every week is the Georgia game in the NFL. Every week is the Georgia game. So, but in the college game, if you give him time and you give him a clean pocket, he is a very accurate thrower of the football. And look, he's missed a couple of throws today, ideally where you'd want the ball placed, but he's an elite intermediate game thrower if he's got time.
Good point. So welcome in, Rod Babers, and no sweat today, 35-0, and brag on that Texas defense. We're now halfway through the 9th game, and they've allowed 9 touchdowns this season. They're playing at a high level. I thought Trey Moore played a heck of a first half. Obviously, Alfred Collins had some big plays, big third down tackle, and then a tip drill. The offense is taking advantage of it. That defense, again, continues to suffocate opposing offenses.
Yeah, I mean, it really is impressive. I said it before the game. I don't know how Florida's going to score if they don't have a short field or Texas, has some self-inflicted wounds and gives them an easy opportunity, maybe an opportunity for a non-offensive touchdown. I don't know how they're going to go down the field with Aiden Warner as their starting quarterback, or even a hamstrung DJ Lagway against the best defense in the country, which is what they are. And it's okay, Longhorn fans, to start saying it. I agree. It was a hell of a turnaround. It's a drastic turnaround. So we're so close to it, it's hard to accept. But statistically, that's the best defense in the country.
Rod, the big news is I don't have to do a live from in front of Texags, because all that talk about Lagway being a game time decision, he didn't even have his pads on.
Yeah. Now, Jerry, you were right on the money on that one. That was all gamesmanship. No doubt. It was nothing but it. But you know what? Well, I think ultimately for Texas, it didn't matter. I honestly, even if Lagway went out there, I still think it would have been more. They would have been more of a challenge. I still think the Texas defense would have been up to the task. Sorry, go ahead, E.
No, I think that's right. I mean, look, it would have been the first time in the history. I'm 51 years old. I would have never seen a player go off on a cart in 1 week where his whole team came out and dapped him up. Hey man, we got you. And then on crutches and that after halftime, and then play the next week. I've never seen that.
Never.
That would have been a first. That
would have had to come out in a Willis Reed jersey at that point.
Yes. That would have been a first, but you hate it for. And remember, DJ Lagway is he's a Texas kid coming back to Texas. I'm sure he wanted to feel like he's part of this game, and probably hurts him a lot that he's not able to play in it as well as he was playing before that injury. Heck, they might have beat Georgia last week if he doesn't pull that hamstring in the first half. So either way, Longhorns 350 yards of offense. The defense is the best in the country. This is what'd you see from the offense? Rod, I mean, obviously some mistakes, some twists getting the interior lineman again early, but they cleaned it up and just attacking a wounded secondary of Florida.
I'm with you. It just seems like, Sark dialed up all the right plays at the right time. And even Texas has some missed opportunities, right? DeAndre Moore bobbled a touchdown there. I think Sark really just doubled down on some of the conceptual signatures that really make his offense so unique. The first half pre-snap motion and shift rate was probably upwards of 75%. of those plays. They got Moss moving around. You'll look at the amount of the pony package is back. Some of their biggest plays, if not their biggest plays, were out of the pony package. If you consider Ryan Niblett to be a running back now, that 44-yard reverse was in the pony package. If you could that your 50-yard touchdown reception for Golden, that came out of the pony package. They've gotten some big plays. It was a 29-yard touchdown reception to Golden. It came out of the pony package. So some of their big plays now are coming out of the pony package, and I think more diversity and variety in the offense helps.
Oh boy,
yeah.
And Drew Makuba with a pick out on another tip drill. The defensive line doing a great job getting their hands up. That is another interception for Texas, and going to be Quinn Ewers time sooner than later. It feels like, guys. I mean, Arch Manning time sooner than later for the Longhorns.
Nice, good play.
That is who gets the hand up there. That's big Alfred Collins. That's two of those.
Hey, Rod, Alfred Collins, the last 3 games, best football he's ever played at Texas consecutively. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
I can agree with that. Yeah. Oh, that was a great individual effort, too. Not only beat his guy, didn't beat the running back after that, beat the secondary blocker, too. He beat them all to get there and get that tip pass. Good play.
Yeah, Longhorns now set up shop again. A little quick pass out to Isaiah Bond, and that's going to get gobbled up. But the Longhorns have a chance to extend. And we talked at halftime with Coach Chipley and Jerry Rod of how long do you keep Quinn in this game? I'm assuming with that development, probably this might be his only drive of the half, no matter how it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen enough. It's to me, I mean, I don't know, the theory that there were things lingering from the injury. It makes more sense now than before. Look at the way he looks now. I mean, he still missed a couple of throws, by the way, in this game.
He did.
Still missed a couple of throws because that's kind of Quinn. That's a Quinn we know, but still, there were also some throws that were on the money. I mean, and to me, timing, the rhythm. I mean, some of those yak opportunities, you don't get that if you don't get the accurate throw by Quinn and the rhythmic throw by Quinn.
Do we see who's down for Texas on this play?
I think it's DJ Campbell.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote, but that's a lineman for sure. But
it's Cam Williams. Somebody's saying it's Cam Williams.
Okay. I saw the 5. So yeah, Cam Williams. Well, this would I'd see that. I'd see an interception to start, and one of my starters go sitting on the carpet. That I'm getting all the backups in, even if they kick a field goal here.
I agree with that. Nope, this is not mullet, Quinn. Thank you, Britt. No,
hey, by the way, I think we're going to see Trevor Gooseby at right tackle here.
Okay.
Trevor Gooseby worked some at right tackle the last couple of weeks, so I'll maybe it's Brandon Baker, but it wouldn't shock me to see Trevor Gooseby in right now.
Yep, and that's probably all they need to see. They start getting some guys out. This game's about to be 42-0. 38 would be fine, and 14:03 to go in the third quarter. If you're just tuning into the On Texas Football, watch along.
That's not good. No pressure on his right leg, guys.
Yeah, that's your right tackle. Let's hope that's just a tweak or a sprain or something. But yeah, no, not even trying to put pressure on it right now. But getting off with some assistance, and that's Cam Williams.
We'll look for him on the Florida injury report as probable next week.
Yeah. Yep, it is Gooseby at right tackle, guys.
Yeah, Gooseby's been working at right tackle some and getting him ready to play both of those spots. So Gooseby was working this week at right tackle. In fact, I was told.
Remind our audience, where he's from, specs, all that on Trevor Gooseby.
Trevor Gooseby out of Melissa, Texas, was when he committed to Texas 6'6" and a quarter and 268. Now 6'8" and about 325. He's got the feet, he's got the length. Really intelligent player. He just needs to continue to add strength. He just got a false start at right tackle. By the way, so he's got that part down at right tackle. He's ready to play right tackle clearly, but he's just got to continue to get stronger in his upper body and his quads and his hips in that area of his lower body. But he's got some upside to him, Trevor Gooseby. He's got the intelligence to play this game. He's got the frame. Just got to keep getting stronger.
All right, Longhorns now facing a 3rd and 13. Another quick one. Isaiah Bond, look out. That's a missed tackle. That's a touchdown, guys. So he did it again. 2 missed tackles. Florida is done, so on the defensive side. That was 2. That should have maybe been a first down, not a touchdown. But that's 5 for Quinn. That's 333 passing yards for Quinn. That might be the last throw we see him make. He's 19 of 27. And Isaiah Bond, everybody getting beat today.
Wow. Yeah. It's, I mean, we talked about it before the game that Florida, I had 94 missed tackles on the season. Well, I mean, you saw it there. It's on display. Multiple missed tackles, bad angles to the football, and all the injuries they've had in the secondary. I mean, they just can't. Texas is pulling away here, guys. It's it's time to see Arch Manning. It's about time. And honestly, they still may run it up with Arch Manning.
They will. Hey, Ryan Nelson's got a very important question for us, Aaron. I don't know if Rod cares, but can this Florida team lose to FSU? Oof.
Well, that would be
Ryan, I got to tell you, I don't have a coin, but I might flip it right now as bad as FSU's been. But I'm here to tell you this, though, because there's been a lot of talk about that statement made, oh, Billy Napier's safe. And there's been some people saying Florida doesn't have the money to pay him. And people that are motivated have money, okay? If you get blown the hell out in this game and then you go lose in Tallahassee, that money will suddenly appear.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I mean, they can say what they want. Oh, he's safe. Yeah, he's safe before 65-7 and a loss to FSU's 2-9. Nobody's safe at that point. That money will appear when it has to appear if it gets bad enough. That's all I'll say about college athletics.
That's
crazy. I want to ask you this there, Jerry. Let me tell you about our third quarter sponsor. It's our good buddy Albert and his team at ATX Trees. ATX Trees brings you the third quarter and been on with us here through the month of October into November. Now, ATX Trees, the high level, as we told you here at our house, we did a patio project in the back. And we're thinking about doing a pergola or maybe putting up a shelter, just a cover, and decided, why don't we get a tree? Why don't we get a tree to provide the shade that we want and bring in a mature tree with our friends at ATX Trees? And that's exactly what we did. And great decision with Albert and the team there, because they come from their tree farm to your home. And these are, sizes over 30 gallons. They come with great warranty. So the tree we have, they come back and they take care of it. They're also going to do some tree trimming for us. It really is a great alternative, and it's actually much cheaper than putting up a pergola or doing a construction project for shade in our backyard. And we absolutely love the decision we made with the ATX Trees, and that's the kind of stuff you can do. They have over 18 varieties of the native trees in stock there at their tree farm. They're locally owned and operated. 25 years they've been doing this. No one better. So native trees and sale, delivery and installation. Once they install it, you got a great warranty on it as well. Healthy trees all year long with ATX Trees. They also do those xeriscapes you see on that little brochure there. They can save you water. Going through droughts all the time now. We know that's coming. That drought tolerant xeriscaping, another specialty of theirs. In your front yard, your backyard, wherever it's going to be. Really a great way to go. You see the $200 off the xeriscape projects of $2,500 or more right now. They give you a 10% off all phone orders with Albert, 749-5149. That's 512-749-5149. It's ATX Trees, from their tree farm to your home. So if you want one tree like we did, multiple trees, you don't want to wait for decades to have that tree grow to get the shade you want, the look you want to your house, the curb appeal. ATX Trees, a great way to go. Home or businesses, residential or commercial, atxtrees.com or 749-5149. All right, Jerry and Rod, if indeed Billy Napier, this blowout, and then they play Ole Miss in their next game, then they play LSU. Beyond that, then it's Florida State. He goes 4-8. I mean, you may have to make a change. How do you do? Who do you target? You got to have to get. Can you sit around if you fire Billy Napier at the end of this year, guys, and wait on a coach that might be in the playoffs, or do you have to go outside of that to find your next coach?
That's the whole problem. By the way, I want to answer. I'm going to get to that. John Brown, I think he just came into chat. Any surprises Baker not coming to replace Williams? No, I mentioned that when Cam went down, that Trevor Gooseby had been working at both tackle spots in the last week of practice and during the off week and this week. So Trevor Gooseby was going to go in at right tackle in an emergency situation. Doesn't mean Brandon Baker won't play right tackle later in this game and Gooseby moves over the left. But in that emergency situation, there's Scott Strickland, AD. Boy, they're talking about it now. But Gooseby was going to play right tackle in an emergency situation. But as far as that goes, look, I mean, I've been saying this for weeks. Jimmy Sexton runs the SEC. Billy Napier's a Jimmy Sexton client. He'll probably be replaced with a Jimmy Sexton client. And that will probably be Lane Kiffin if he wants the job. And now if Kurt Signetti's a Jimmy Sexton client, maybe if they make the move. I mean, look, like you said, if things play out like that, then they're going to be forced to. I don't care what they're saying right now, because money will appear and they'll take the decision out of Strickland's hands. But he's also got the basketball coach he's got to deal with. But that'll be that if something goes down there, that'll be with cause. So that will be pretty cut and dry. But look, Sexton runs the SEC. Wake me up when the next Florida coach isn't a Sexton client, because I've been watching it for 15 years.
Yeah. But Rod, the calendar makes it tough, right? You've got transfer portal opening the 9th of December, but it's only open until 20 days this time to close back on the 28th or 29th, which means if you don't even have a coach, even you don't hire a coach till January that can join your program, they won't have access to the portal until the spring, right? By the way, I look at that calendar.
Yeah, and life isn't fair, but the way the calendar's set up is totally unfair if you have to make a coaching change.
Agreed.
Signing days, like your point, is December 4th, Aaron. You have one official visit weekend, and you're not going to have a coach by then. Like if your point, what if Lane Kiffin's in the playoffs and that's your guy? Well, then you've lost the signing season and you've lost the portal. I mean, what are you going to do? The calendar is totally unfair if you have to make a coaching change right now.
100%. That's why I argued, Rod, that maybe you have to suck it up and eat and keep it. You got to keep the guy. They may be having the same conversation at Oklahoma and at Arkansas by the end of the year. It really is difficult because you're gonna really stunt the ability of your new coach to come in and jumpstart things quickly.
By the way, from the stands, Arch Manning is warming up, so he'll be in next series.
It's about time. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of looking for too. I was kind of waiting for the broadcast crew to hit that. They have not hit it yet. I'm like, hey, let's get Arch out there. It's about time.
Texas defense, and you Rod on that sidelines now. The defense is thinking shutout again, right? That's probably I think the mindset they're going to have right now. Let's keep this goose egg up there. Yeah.
And they've had how many shutouts have they had? 2 or 1? 2. How many shutouts? 1.
I'll look.
Hey, by the way, Florida. Somebody put it in the chat earlier. Florida's got the longest streak in college football of not being shut out in the game.
Oh wow! Okay, there you go.
Okay, that I would be preaching out on the sideline.
Yeah, I would too.
Let's make history, gentlemen. Let's make history. I'm gonna deal with that.
1988.
Yeah.
Oh, so essentially since Steve Spurrier showed up in Gainesville, that makes sense.
Colorado State, the only shutout. They had a 3-pointer in there, but this is a shutout with a long way to go. But Florida's warming up the bus already, so we'll see how much motivation they have to try to get a touchdown on the board or a field goal. Remember, they missed that early chip shot field goal.
Yeah, they had a couple of chances. Yeah, and Texas had a couple of 3. They've held teams to just 3 points. They came close to multiple shutouts, but they hadn't gotten there yet. This would be good.
By the way, Braxton Moore with the comment of the chat. Florida hasn't scored on Texas in 100 years.
Thank you, Braxton.
Well done. Well done there.
Well done. Yeah, and happy birthday to DKR. The stadium today, of course, Texas Memorial Stadium is 100 years old yesterday. So that's 1924 was when that stadium came online, actually during the year. And I don't know if you heard it earlier, Robert. Texas played in Florida in 1924 earlier in the year, but they didn't have the stadium done. So they played at Clark Field. The old Clark Field is where they played Florida in 1924, and then later in the year, in November, opened up Texas Memorial Stadium.
That's cool. That's a nice little factoid right there. I like that.
By the way, Rod, how much do you love Ty Anthony Smith? Wow.
Oh, man, I keep mistaking him for a DB because of how he runs.
Yeah, me too.
He runs so well. I'm like, oh, they're going to die? No, that's Ty Anthony Smith. I keep mistaking him for because he has like a 20-something. So I keep
he
runs so well.
He has football playing speed and quickness, man. Whenever he runs into 40, he plays faster.
Yeah, he doesn't look out of place running with the DBs out there.
No.
Big third down here. It's obviously 2-down territory for Billy Napier. He can't be punting down 42, but good pressure for the Longhorns. But good play call there. Something easy to his running back. And but boy, Warner got clobbered. They're going to get a 15-yard penalty here. I think it was Sadir Mitchell coming on the twist.
No, it was Baron Sorrell.
Oh, Sorrell, 88, not 99. Sorry, or 90. That's going to be.
I think Sorrell lit him up. He took out some frustration on him, man. He lit him up. He had a clean shot at him, though. When you got a clean shot at the quarterback, it's hard to let up, man. How often is a clean shot? Unless you're the CJ Stroud. How often do you get a clean shot on the quarterback? He had a lot of clean shots on CJ these days.
So people are asking in the chat. I've heard nothing on Cam Williams. I'll just know he's been getting looked at. But again, that's a big penalty because at least Florida might get a field goal out of it. They should get a field goal attempt out of this and keep their scoring streak alive.
Look at him. He got. He should have known it was a screen the way he let him go, but he was like, "I'm taking it." Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're in field goal range. So, and the Longhorns will let Florida run this ball all they want because they're going to probably do the same thing.
Guys, I want the defense to bow up because we need Arch to keep getting a lot of reps, get him ready for next year.
I agree with that. Well, and I think, Coach Chipley's called it, you can use the second half as kind of like practice. You really need to get some positivity in your run game, I think, as you head to Arkansas and, these final 3 games. You're throwing it all over the place against a banged-up secondary, but at some point you're going to have to be able to establish a line of scrimmage and run the football. Now you're down, you're starting right tackle, but we'll see how Texas does when they get the ball back. This is all about trying to get a stop here. Double move, good coverage. Jade Barron where he should be.
Oh, has been all season long, right? I mean,
yeah.
We've seen him out of position, busted.
Hey, Rod, that's going to be interesting because you can, when Jade's gone next year, you can replace the frame and you can replace the talent, but can you replace the football intelligence? That's going to be one of those questions for Texas in the spring, right? You can replace the raw talent of Jade Barron. Can you replace the football intelligence?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's a good point. He's a football investigator, as I call him.
Yep, no doubt.
By the way, guys, Georgia Tech up to 20-10 on Miami right now, approaching, but they're more than halfway through the third quarter now. And there's a good run for the freshman from Atlanta. That's a good-looking running back right there.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Hey, 6'1", 230 with those type of feet in the hole make a lot of money.
And the crazy thing is, guys, their run game actually has been working pretty well versus Texas.
Yeah,
this is why complementary football is so important, because the offense has essentially pulled away from the Florida defense, and they've been able to essentially move the ball at will and get explosive plays. Florida can't stick with the game plan of just running the football, though it doesn't work. They're still going to get blown out. So they know. I mean, now they can't run it just to try to obviously shorten the game. But Texas almost forced them to have to take some chances early on in the game, which they did. And it worked out for them because they were able to get them off the field. But they probably could have tried to go with the Mississippi State game plan early on, and they tried to pivot a little bit and took some shots. Remember on some of those early downs that didn't work out for them. Ended up in third long. Third long was obviously that's a Herculean task for this offense.
Well, to your point, Rod, I mean, their 2 running backs, Ball and Jackson, are 26 carries for, what is that, 148 yards, and they're both over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
If our defense could get some stops, they could try to slow this game down and shorten this game. But the offense has just, boat raced it to where it's, but yes, that's going to be a point of emphasis, because I'm sure Arkansas is going to be thinking the same thing. Kentucky, this group. Now they're playing a lot of people up front. They're rotating quite a bit here, but at the same time, this offensive line's getting pushed on Texas.
Yeah, but exactly. But I don't know how much of it is that the defense has changed their or adjusted their mentality, because they're like, well, we're up 42 to, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's some the complementary football though. I mean,
he's going to kick it. He's going to kick it to avoid the shutout. He's going to kick it. Come on, Napier.
Hey, man, I ain't mad at him. I told him that stat on the sideline. He's like, oh, okay, I ain't going to be me. That ain't going to be me. You ain't making history with me, dog. Y'all saying weak, no, man. You don't want to be that. You don't want to make bad history. Bad history, you don't want to make bad history.
No.
You don't want to be on the wrong side of it, man. You don't want to be some trivia question in 20 years. Florida fans are mocking you. No, you don't want that.
I honestly, I probably would have kicked the field goal there too. But Rod, you weren't on, but at the end, like, golly, man, at the end of that half, why he didn't run the football and get it to halftime when it was 28-0, then you at least had the ball to start the second half. Coach and I were just kind of rolling our eyes. We're like, what are you doing, man? This is when they delete the tweet that your job's safe. And, like, you can't 28-0, you go into half and you get the ball. Then what are you doing throwing the football and not just running it and going into the half? You're down 28-0. You could have been down 49-0. Get the hell out of the half. What are you doing? Then they end up throwing a pick and you're down 35. That's what gets you fired. That's what gets Scott Strickland's down there on the field. He's probably, oh, man, how am I going to deal with this? All the alums are going to be calling me in the morning if we lose 65-3. It's like, dude, help your AD out here, man. You know, come on, help yourself out here.
It seems like, I don't know, you could argue maybe they shouldn't have given him a vote of confidence, because maybe him having that sense of urgency that I'm coaching for my job every game, man, worked out better. He probably goes for, you know what I mean? Like, the mentality is different, and I'm sure that they got their reasons for giving him a vote of confidence, but I'm with you. You get blown out in these games, you're not competitive, and then you potentially lose to Florida State. All bets are off, man.
And people at that point in the fan base and the decision makers with the money at that point don't want to hear about your injuries. Not if you embarrass. Not if you embarrass my university. That's where things get bad for coaches. I don't want to hear about your DBs being. I don't want to care. I don't care about any of that crap. Don't get beat 60-0 and make bad decisions. 60-3, 56-3. That they don't care at that point. And that's the important. That's the thing I've taken from this business.
Yeah. And you're right about the Jimmy Sexton side. It's just the calendar is so difficult. 42-3 Texas, so the shutout won't happen. I probably jinxed it by mentioning it this early in the third quarter. But either way,
it was you.
It was me. That penalty didn't hurt, or it didn't help either on Barron Sorrells. But 42-3. Let me tell you again about our third quarter sponsor on the On Texas Football Watch Along, our great friends at ATX Trees. This is a family-owned company. 25 years. They bring you mature trees to your property, your home, your business. Over 18 varieties of those native trees in stock. You can special order as well. It's tree installation. They can also remove trees if you need to, or replace if you want to go that direction. They do trimming and irrigation and landscaping. But boy, they specialize in those mature trees from their tree farm to your house. It's amazing what a mature tree can do to change the look of your home or your business. As we said, we did a backyard project, and then instead of putting up a structure for shade, we actually bought a tree from ATX Trees, a mature one that they put up, and it was cheaper, fit the budget better than building. And boy, we get the shade that we want. It looks amazing. Just added to the appeal of the backyard at ATX Trees. You can do that too. From their tree farm to your home. As you see, that 10% off all phone orders. So you can go to the website, atxtrees.com, but call them and get to know Albert Cedillo and the team, 512-749-5149. That's 512-749-5149. 25 years. In the trees. Also, the great zero-scaping process they can do for you there. Just learn more about it. atxtrees.com. That's atxtrees.com. From their tree farm to your home at atxtrees.com. All right, guys. Was it Arch Manning time? Are we going to get Arch?
Yeah, it is. It's Arch Manning time.
Come on. It'd be irresponsible to put Quinn out there again now. Because Arch needs the reps too.
I'd like to see a steady.
No, you didn't know if you'd have one of these games late in the SEC schedule.
I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of Jarrett Gibson too in this game, because whereas Florida's run the ball, Texas really hasn't. When you look at the running yards for their running backs, but at the same time, obviously Jaden Blue and Quinn and Trey Wisner both have huge games out of the backfield. Jaden Blue's got 3 catches for 70 yards, and Wisner's got 3 for 59 and a touchdown. So they have been effective out in the passing game, but you really need to rev up that run game if you can here in the second half. Georgia Tech looking for the upset.
Backup quarterback, right? Or is that Haynes? I think Haynes King's out. Backup quarterback. Hey, by the way, somebody's asking about what OVs this weekend. It's Grayson Littleton, the 4-star corner from Wiregrass Ranch in Tampa. Him and his family are there. The former Clemson commit. It's going to come down to Michigan and Texas. Then Kellen Wiley, the linebacker from Sethner Armwood near Tampa. That's Miami leads Texas going into this visit. First time he's ever been in Austin.
Nice. All right, there is Jaden Blue with a nice carry off the left side. March Manning is in the game with 6 minutes, just under 7 minutes to go. Third quarter. Who would have thought that? But this will be Arch's, first significant playing time since he played in the Mississippi State
Cam
game.
Williams is back in the game, guys.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Cam Williams back in the game.
And there's a flag.
Just got a hold. Right.
Well, I don't know why you'd be risking that. I'd be resting those big guys, especially if they got a little ding. But I think they want to get this run game going. I think that's part of this. But, bigger picture, but we'll see. They've got Arch Manning, and I think they want to see Arch with the first teamers here.
Rod, Cam heard you say he's got 11 penalties yesterday. He said, nope, I got 12.
He's good for one a game, man. He is. Just unfortunately, he's good for one a game.
Well, how about Gooseby came in and got a false start on his first play, that right tackle position.
Oh, you know Arch is airing it out in this game.
Oh, yeah, deep ball.
Not good, though, triple coverage.
Arch loves the deep ball.
He does, man.
He loves the deep ball, man.
It's like Quinn throwing them bombs back in the day,
He loves it. Oh. Yep, not good, though. You're right, not good.
Could have called that. I mean, he didn't let the receiver get to his spot, but either way, triple coverage not the best read right there for Arch. Now it's going to be a 3rd and 15. I'm assuming something short, and those penalties continue to derail. That Texas stopping themselves here. A lot of time. Oh, good throw but he did not bring it in, or did he catch it? Yeah, I thought he might have been bobbling that ball.
It's a good throw, though. Ooh. I don't know if he caught that.
Yeah, it's kind of like DeAndre Moore. He bobbled it and didn't have it. Nice play. The defender kind of caused that. Good play.
Yeah. That was a good throw, though, on the run.
Oh, no, the defender did not tell us that. That was just a drop.
It's a good throw, man. That throw has to touch on it. Ooh. Oh.
Are they going to look at it? Under review. Our viewers have already seen it, or saying it is a catch.
Did he come down with it? Yeah.
This is a big call because there's a lot of Dasani water bottles in hands right now. So
I think the fans are pretty, at this point, they're pretty satisfied with what they saw.
He caught that ball, man. They're going to reverse that.
Yeah, he got that right foot, and once he got control of it, and he controlled it to the ground. Nice little piece of footwork there by Jaden Blue to get that foot and then control it before he goes down. I think that's going to be a catch.
Nice play. I mean, Jaden Blue has got to be the best check down in the country. He's one of the best. Essentially,
one of them for sure.
I think we need to take this to another level. Don't throw your water balls. The students need to throw their IDs on the field. If you're going to go all the way. Take your laps.
Put your name on it.
Yeah, put your name on it.
Did Arch find his again? Didn't he lose it?
I think a couple of them.
I was saying multiple times, I thought.
Yeah.
No,
Kids will do that.
Did he catch it? Rolling? Yeah. It's in his crotch right now, but yeah. He came up with it. He didn't drop it. I think he's got it. That was a good play. That was a good play by Arch to keep it alive and the touch on it. Great effort, though, by Blue. Great focus, concentration.
Cam Ward has got.
They didn't like it. They're like, nah, man, he's bobbling too much.
Yeah, that's one of those. Just keep it what the original call was. By the way, Miami just scored a touchdown. It'll be 21-17.
Well, they love being down 2 scores, right?
They do.
Miami's got everybody right where they want them. All they need is a call midway through the 4th quarter, and they got this thing.
Yeah, but the time of possession continues to be Georgia Tech. I mean, they're keeping it away from Cam Ward, and we'll see now that they still have a 4-point lead.
There's Carson Beck walking into Ole Miss. Hey, Rod, you ever seen a quarterback that was picked to go number 1 in the draft have 11 interceptions in 5 games in college? I mean, like, I've never seen that in my life, guys.
No.
Like,
but
never.
there are a lot of firsts. Like, I mean, Josh Allen was kind of one of those where nobody saw somebody at his level be so inefficient and be drafted so high because of he's a physical freak. I mean, think about Anthony Richardson drafted as high as he was and his metric. There are some these days. They're willing to take a lot of chances on the upside of quarterbacks. I don't know if Beck has that kind of upside, but it wouldn't shock me if he's still taken in the first round because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that rookie salary structure has changed that. I mean, back in the day when you had to pay those guys immediately, you're a little more cautious. But, yeah, you can take some flyers. But, then like the Colts with Anthony Richardson, if you're going to take him and he's raw, you can't pull the plug. He got hurt last year, and now they're already benched him. Yeah. I know we made the mistake and whatnot, but still, this goes to that Tom Brady comment about you still got to develop the quarterback.
Guys, this is where college coaching is driving me nuts right now. Miami scores against Georgia Tech. There's 2:43 to go in the third quarter. They go for 2.
Yeah.
And they don't get it. What are these guys doing, man? These guys are just all riverboat gamblers. I think they make too much money. What the hell are you doing not kicking the ball? There's 2:43 to go in the third. You make it 21-7. Why are you chasing points with 2:43 to go in the third quarter with Cam Ward as your quarterback? These guys are nuts, dude. They're all riverboat gamblers. It's crazy where this game's at right now from a coaching perspective. Nuts. Makes no sense.
Well,
Sorry, back to the regular game.
No, go ahead, brother.
It's unbelievably dumb.
It is dumb. The only thing I can think of is that I mentioned Georgia Tech is doing a good job of keeping the ball away from them and limiting possessions, but still I agree with you 100%. Get that extra point, get to within 4, but a lot of ball left. But Florida's moving the ball. They're running the football on Texas. And Texas, as you said before in these blowout games, Rod, Texas is happy to let Florida run the ball because the clock just keeps running.
Yeah, I think that's part of them playing their complementary football. Once they get up big, I think the mentality changes. They don't want to take any chances, on defense. But it does show you. I do think early on they were getting some positive yards running the football, but it's hard to do that when your defense can't get stops. And so you're lacking the complementary football. And then Texas right now is playing some of the best that we've seen all season long.
Fumble. Oh, by the way, Kobe Black in the game, guys, number 6.
Yeah, Leon Galafau with a really good hit, got low there and delivered a little boom on Boardingham, and that shoulder's hurting right now.
He did get the ball out. That was a good tackle.
Yeah, I mean that'll hurt your right shoulder if you're there Boardingham over there carrying his right shoulder to the sideline.
That's what they don't need is more injuries. But Florida moving the ball, but we are approaching that's under 4 minutes now in the third quarter. Texas has scored a touchdown in this quarter. The Florida Gators just a field goal. It's a good throw for Aiden Warner. Kobe Black on the coverage there. Hey, one of those games that won't get a lot of attention that I think is going to be a lot of fun, guys, is that South Carolina Vanderbilt game. 3:15 today.
Yeah, I think Vandy's in big trouble in that game personally. Those edges for South Carolina are really good. The safety, Nick Anawanamora, I can't pronounce his name. That guy's going to be a really good pro. I think the physicality of South Carolina is on both sides of the ball is going to be a real issue for Vanderbilt unless South Carolina has a little bit of a hangover after their celebration against A&M last week. I think that's a really bad matchup for Vandy.
Agreed.
Not saying it won't be close because Vandy plays everybody close, right? But I just don't think it's a good matchup for him.
Yeah. Well, the kid Lenora Sellers, man, I didn't realize you said it the other day, but I didn't realize he's only a redshirt freshman. That guy's a beast. That guy's a monster.
Yeah, he's like Brad Smith with quarterback with size for being like what he can be in the college game. Like
he's scary.
230. I mean, and He's got the feet. He's got the escapability for a big kid, and he's just hard to get to the ground, no matter if it's quickness, strength, whatever. He can do what Brad Smith did for Missouri for South Carolina, in my opinion.
Ooh. That's right.
Yeah, there's the number, 31 carries. They're both over 5 yards a carry. And again, no quarterback, and Texas has just run away and hid. But Texas is going to get to work on that. But this is what Billy Napier wants that team to be, and that's why you can see, guys, why it's such a different offense with DJ Lagway, because he brings running legs on top of what we're watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much more and it's not like he's an elite runner, but he doesn't have to be. Because Mertz wasn't a threat. Warner's not a threat. But if you have the threat of a run game at quarterback with Billy Napier's offense, you can start to see a light at the end of the tunnel for them offensively. It's just, is he going to get there next year to have a chance?
Well, and he's got a cannon. He's not accurate with the football, but you got some speed on the outside.
Great
but
point.
You don't have Badger. They're missing Badger. They don't have Eugene Wilson. You talked about him, Jerry. The season started. He was one of their best wide. If you got guys like that can win on the outside, it helps too. And you got a big
no doubt, 100%.
Yep, there you go.
There is the 10th touchdown the Longhorns have allowed this season, and that one was a good drive for Florida. They're really winning the line of scrimmage right now, and you've said it several times today, Jerry, but that kid Ball, a freshman with that 230 with those legs, I mean, that guy, that's a really good player.
Look, I'm here to tell you, if Billy Napier does get the axe at the end of the year, you realize how many schools will be trying to get Jaden Ball in the portal? About everybody in the SEC.
Texas too.
Yes, everybody.
Well, that's another. I mean, that's kind of the conversation. I mean, you have to. But man, those are some good players. And remember, for Florida, the schedule flips. That next year it's just as difficult as the schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't change much.
And that's why some people have been saying in the chat, and I get what they're saying. That's just let Billy Napier stay, because next year's schedule is that the schedule you want for a first year coach with no recruiting class or portal? It does make sense what people are saying in the chat. So I get what they're saying there. But that schedule, I mean, let's just say they fire Napier and Lane Kiffin comes in with no recruiting class or no portal, but he does have DJ Lagway and Jaden Ball. You're still in a really tough spot in year one on that schedule. So I get where people are going with that in terms of thinking.
Yeah, well, that's a tough schedule. And again, Texas will go to Gainesville next year for the first time. That will be a fun road trip. Better road trip, Jerry, you've been to all these places. For our audience, better road trip, is it Athens or Gainesville? It's
Athens, because Georgia's really good. And if Florida was really good, I think Florida, because Florida, what makes Florida cool to me is it's the kind of the recent history. And I'm 49, so that recent history of the Swamp, man, right? It's watching Spurrier versus Florida State, watching the Spurrier teams, then watching Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer there. But the cool thing about Gainesville for the Texas fans, I think if you can try to make either one of those trips go, Steve Spurrier has a really cool sports bar. And Steve Spurrier's in there like 5 days a week. So if you're in there, you may run into him. He does a podcast in there. So that's a pretty cool trip from a college football standpoint. But I think right now, Athens, that stadium is set in such a cool – and Athens is a great college town. It's set right there by the university bookstore. And it's just – that's really cool. But Georgia's also really good. So that makes it almost the better trip right now.
Be some good ones next year. That even the trip to Lexington for Kentucky is going to be – that's a fun trip. Go up through the horse racing ranches and the bourbon distilleries that you can check out. Lexington's not bad either. Pretty cool stuff for the Longhorns.
Here's the great thing about that. That's late in the season, so you never know. Kentucky might have a basketball game the next day or day before, so you might be able to double dip on that one. Yeah. So, yes, obviously everything that is a home game this year will be a road game next year and vice versa. So Texas will make those trips, and that's why you want to take advantage of this year's schedule, Rod Babers, because you're 8 games through it. You've got one more really, really tough road game. I mean, I'm not sleeping on the Arkansas game, I promise, but still the toughest road game remaining is A&M. But, man, you got to take advantage of this because, wins in November here can get you in that playoff and then go from there. Next year, that schedule gets tougher because of those road trips we're talking about.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And those road trips without, some of those veteran pieces. that you've had the luxury, right, of being able to benefit from the last few years. A veteran center, third-year starting quarterback in that system. Not that Arch Manning's not going to be great, but you talked about it earlier, Jerry. The football intelligence, the football IQ of a guy like Jahdae Barron in that secondary. You're going to be missing some of those pieces, and going on the road. And I think Texas has done a great job of developing the depth, and a lot of guys are playing, and they're one of the deepest teams in the country. But I agree with you. There's no question about it. But coming up this schedule for this season, I do think the running game, because you got to face Arkansas, which they got one of the best backfields in the country, and you got to face an A&M team that can run the football too. It's going to be interesting.
Hey, Rod, your point. Arkansas is watching this right now, saying, "Well, we got Jaquindon Jackson and the 250-pounder."
Yeah,
I don't think they're as good up front as Florida is, but they're watching this, saying,
But they got a dual threat quarterback
run game.
Yep, they got a quarterback one game, and they got a plus one in the run game. That, and I'm sure they're looking at it, and they got a beast at wide receiver too.
Yes. Hey, Rod, I want to ask you this question. Is this just popped up when you were talking about Jahdae Barron? How good is Manny Muhammad if Jahdae Barron makes all these plays and he's still the one getting tested? How good is Manny Muhammad? Like, just from a common sense standpoint, there's their house call. Maybe. No. How good is Manny Muhammad? Because Jahdae Barron puts up the numbers and he's still the one getting challenged more than Manny Muhammad. Like, you would think, okay, on tape, boy, this Barron guy, he's making picks, he's making big plays. Let's go challenge 5. 5 never gets challenged.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It kind of reminds me of Texas in its prime when you're talking about pick your poison in that secondary. You basically got to throw at an NFL guy. So which NFL guy you want to throw at? That was the case in the mid 2000s when coming after me it was me and Quentin Jammer and Nathan Basher after that, and then you get to guys like Aaron Ross in that secondary on the outside, Terrell Brown on that secondary on the outside. Either way, you got to throw an NFL DB. So you figure out who you want to test.
Back long runs there, guys. Jaden Blue had a 45-yarder. Now Jarrett Gibson with his 12-yard run. Every time I see a Texas run spring like that, I'm waiting for a penalty flag. But neither on those two. That's good. Longhorns getting some running yards going here.
I think we're about to see Jarrett Gibson score a touchdown against his hometown Florida Gators, where he was once committed. That's my prediction coming up.
It might have to be in the fourth quarter because that's going to wrap up the third, and the Longhorns in full control, 42-10. Third quarter brought to you by ATX Trees. Remember, go check it out, Albert and the Cedillo family. One last time, write that down, atxtrees.com. It's amazing how those mature trees can change your property, change your house in a real quick amount of time. And again, when they bring in one of those 18 varieties of native trees in stock, there's a great warranty on it. It's healthy trees all year long. They grow them in their tree farm, maintain them at a very high level. So then the delivery and installation and warranty, then the maintenance beyond that, it really, really is a great investment. Check them out. They're the best in the industry. And some of those trees are really hard to find. They've got them 18 varieties plus special orders available and that zero-scaping that they can do for you. And in addition, if you're not going to do trees, you still need to write down the website there, or the number 749-5149, because they do removal if you need a tree taken out, tree trimming and irrigation, landscaping. They got you covered. ATXtrees.com, the Cedillo family. All right, into the fourth quarter. Yeah, remind us on that, Jerry, because Jarrett Gibson is from Florida, went to the IMG Academy, but originally committed to Florida. This would be big for a young guy.
Well, he's from Gainesville too. He was in high school in Gainesville before going to IMG Academy. So he is really a local guy. Was committed to Florida early on in high school. Then when Billy Napier got the job, Florida kind of dropped the ball in that recruitment, and Gibson backed off of his commitment. And then Florida they got him on campus a couple of times. His dad is a huge Florida fan growing up in Gainesville. But Florida dropped the ball early on that recruitment. They tried to get back in late. Jarrett and his family went to a couple of games, but it never really materialized. Texas signs Jarrett Gibson, and I'm predicting right now Jarrett Gibson's about to score one on the team he grew up rooting for.
That's a cool little subplot, and that DJ Lagway would have hoped to have been able to come back and play against the flagship university in his home state, but that didn't happen today. And you like the gamesmanship that they were playing with it, but I think we all kind of knew that there's no way we're going to see Lagway today. But it's been Aiden Warner all the way through. He's 10 of 20 for 96 yards. Quinn Ewers is 19 of 27, 333 and 5 touchdowns. He is out. And of course, if DeAndre Moore had caught another touchdown, he would have had 6 touchdowns in this game today. Arch Manning now in the game. Fourth quarter going to be brought to you by our friends at Texas Countertops. Check them out. Did want to mention again to our fourth quarter audience, our friend Anthony Hippolito did win his election. He is going to be he's the sheriff-elect in Hays County. So he was a big part of our On Texas coverage the last several games in lead up to that election. So he is a winner. So we wanted to say thank you to all of you out there who did touch the button for him or cast a vote for Anthony Hippolito or encourage one of your friends to do so. But we want to welcome Texas Countertops to the On Texas watch along as well. My buddy Chris Nixon, who just had a birthday yesterday, best countertops in Austin, no doubt about it. Guys, the game plan here: get this thing in the end zone and continue to empty the bench. Is that kind of the mindset here with the fourth quarter?
Yes, get all the young guys a lot of time. You'll see a lot of Kobe Black, Jordan Johnson, Rubel, Ty Anthony Smith, Alex January, maybe more Sadir Mitchell. Colton Vosick out this game, obviously. So question is, you're getting to this point too, guys, where you can play some of those guys and preserve their red shirt with we're down to that point. So you could even see somebody that hadn't played much at all this year in a game like this, and they can still preserve a red shirt situation. So yeah, I think we'll see a bunch of everybody. Somebody's asking in this, if Texas would pass Miami, even if Miami won, no, I think Miami's going to have to lose.
Hey, Jerry, you are a prophet, my friend. Took one carry, 14 yards. Jarrett Gibson, tutty. Good call.
Yeah, Sark looks at things like I do. You want to get that kid a touchdown against Florida because you dang well know Florida would love to see him transfer back. Get him a touchdown. He's going to be a really good player. Let him score one against the team that he grew up against. Let him get his confidence back. Look how excited he is. I think he could get another one in this game too.
That was the run game you wanted to see there, Rod. That was Jaden Blue with a 45-yard pop, then back-to-back big runs for Jaden for Jarrett Gibson, and all off the left side. So getting behind Kelvin Banks and making it happen here into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game, it's once again Texas getting back to what its identity was supposed to be. What I thought the identity was going to be. I think what Sark thought the identity was going to be. You're a team that passes to open up the run. And that's how you start the game. And that's where all your best assets and weapons are. You throw, man, it's smoky in there. You throw to open up, all right? You throw to run. And you open up with the pass literally during early on in the games, and you open up your drives with the passing game. And the running game is there to complement the passing game this season. And when Quinn is healthy, which I think looks as healthy as we've seen Quinn, right? Since early on in the season prior to the injury. And then you also have fewer of the self-inflicted wounds. They had some today, but not as many self-inflicted wounds with the turnovers and with, penalties and things of that nature. This offense can start to find its groove and its rhythm. And then once you get up in games, you close with the run game. You open with the pass and you close with the run game, pounding the rock like they're doing right now. That's the identity of the team this year. It was derailed when Quinn had the injury, and then for some reason the offensive line seemed affected by that as well. And you had a bad kind of stretch of games there. This is the identity of the team. And we said, at least I said, if they didn't get their mojo back versus Florida, then maybe this is who they are as an offense, and we just should accept it. Okay, well now we see what they are as an offense. This is an offense that can be the best offense in the country, along with potentially the defense being the best defense in the country. They got that kind of capability if it's all clicking. But how often have we seen it all click?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, even here, Jerry, you get a comfortable win where a lot of guys are going to get to play, which kind of reinforces the work they got during the bye week. Get some young guys into an actual game. But you also have a lot to coach on in Arkansas, because those mistakes made early, will get you beat next week in Arkansas if you miss an assignment on a twist, or the holding calls, or those Quinn missing throws, DeAndre Moore dropping balls. That's all coaching tape too, guys, to say, look, I mean, this one went our way, but we do that in Fayetteville, 11 o'clock next week. We're going to be putting ourselves in trouble, because that's a more dynamic offense, and Taylon Green's a really good quarterback. up and down, but boy, he's got some explosiveness to him. Those are the kind of things that will get you in a dogfight. It might get you beat in Fayetteville.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Rod, you know what's going to be back? Yes, it will. You know what's going to be back next week, Rod? 3 high. I'm calling it 3 high. They ran it some against Ole Miss.
I think Vandy ran like a snap or two of it. Yeah, it's been out there.
Yeah.
Stark has been so successful finding an antidote to it. But now as a changeup, I agree with you. Good point, Jerry. Yeah.
Because Florida's too high all day today from the looks.
They had so many injuries to DBs.
I know they couldn't have no versatility in their secondary possible. Yeah. And Arkansas has had an off week to prepare. Yeah. I'm guessing that you're going to see a lot of 3 high. By the way, somebody in a group text asked a really good question, and I'm going to try to find the answer on this. Somebody asked me, is Texas redshirting Tia Savea? And Tia Savea is one of those guys that if you don't see him today and the rest of the season, I do think they could have him back next year. So I'll try to get an answer to that.
Interesting. He, of course, came in from UCLA. Johnny Nansen led on that recruitment. But the Longhorns had to take a timeout. They had some miscommunication. You had too many men on the field there on a 2nd and 6 play. So Longhorns take their first of their second half timeouts there. Our buddy Britt tells us that Georgia Tech has scored again. There is a serious upset threat going on down there in Atlanta.
Oh, my gosh. Who was that smoked? Oh, Colin Simmons again, man. Look, Colin said the right tackle's trying to protect this quarterback. You need to do that before the quarterback gets smoked, man. Try picking him up once. So, yeah, Colin Simmons is a blur off the edge. That is not who I'd waggle against, Rod.
Yeah, what was that? Really?
I ain't waggling that way. I'm waggling the other way, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to check that if I'm the quarterback. I'm like, hey, I watched enough film. Let's do something. We're going to check that.
Checking out.
I'm not leaving that guy unblocked, okay?
Yeah.
And pressure again by Texas, good coverage underneath, and there's Michael Taft, always where he needs to be, the Taft daddy, bringing it right there. They got this new dance that they're working on. I don't know if they all saw that.
Yeah. Look, we may have a top 5 team. We're not winning dance contests, though. I'll tell you that.
No. I don't know, because I did hear that Sark took the team to a movie yesterday instead of having their walkthrough, kind of change the scene up a little bit and give them a surprise. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. They really didn't need another walkthrough, I don't think. And but I don't know what the movie is. Was there some dancing in the movie? Because they do feel like they want to shake it a little bit today. I'm not sure what the film was that they all attended yesterday, but they did force a punt there, and the Longhorns are going to see more arch man. Oh my goodness!
Oh, flag on the play.
Let's hope the best for both of those guys. That was a collision.
Oh.
Might have just knocked the wind out of Silas Bolden there.
Ooh.
Got crushed, and he was about to try to catch the ball.
I mean, what was he thinking, though? The Florida guy, he didn't even know what a ball was.
Yeah, that was you saw Neto on the sidelines. He wanted to come on the field and wipe that guy out.
Where did he think the ball? How did he not locate the ball? I've been a gunner. You got to know where the ball is. He didn't locate the ball at all.
That's let's hope everybody's okay there.
Like, what was your intention on the play, though? Because you weren't you're supposed to be finding the ball as a gunner.
They called targeting, so he's done.
Yeah, I agree, dude. It's like, I mean, to me, it almost seemed like I wanted that was premeditated. What are you doing, man? Find the ball. How do you not find the ball? That's crazy. As a gunner, that's your one job as a gunner. Know where the ball is.
I don't know if that's going to be targeting, but it certainly is kick catch interference, because he hit him with his shoulder. His head was to the side and didn't lower the crown. But either way, it's a cheap shot on the Longhorn punt returner. All right, let's mention here in the fourth quarter. Our fourth quarter brought to you by our newest of our partners here on the watch along. It's Texas Countertops. My friend Chris Nixon and his company. Chris is a lifelong Austinite, lived in Central Texas his whole life, and they do the best countertops. It's full service for your home. If you're a remodel, maybe you do flip houses or whatever, or you have a business where you need a countertop, bars and whatnot. Texas Countertops is a full-service countertop provider with that personal touch. Every client will get an extra level of care and service. Dedicated team of highly experienced craftspeople dedicated to providing that precision and expertise in the projects that you deserve. Long history in the countertop industry. They apply that knowledge to every project. And here's the deal, right? You'll never be without a countertop if you're going there. They will tear out and dispose of your existing countertop. And then that'll happen in the morning. And then the installation, you'll have the countertop by the afternoon. So you won't miss a dinner without that, without a countertop at all. They have granite, they have quartz, soapstone, quartzite, and concrete. And they've been doing this since 2004. So they're celebrating 20 years here in Austin, and want you to get to know them. They're going to be with us here on the On Texas channel and watching Texas football. Chris is a lifelong Austinite who loves the ATX and wants to work with you, loves the Longhorns too. Best countertops in Austin online, as you see the website there, countertoptexas.com. That's countertoptexas.com, or 836-5900. That's 836-5900, Texas Countertops. Hey, guys, let's hope the best for Silas Bolden. That's scary. I hope it's just to knock the wind out of him and not something more severe.
Yeah, that was, like I said, I don't really know what the intention of the gunner was on that play. But yeah, I hope so. I think he will be okay. I think it's just, yeah. I mean, you don't expect to get hit like that when the ball's not coming. Usually a player will brace for a hit, getting ready for it. He was not bracing for that hit, I guarantee you. And that's probably what, it just probably shocked him. Took him by surprise.
Yeah, you're right about that. We'll see. You need Silas Bolden. He's your best punt returner and fearless. I don't think that's going to scare the fearlessness out of him, though, Jerry. You know, he'll be right back there next punt looking to make a play, and that's what that guy does. But you know,
yeah, if anything was ever going to slow him down, that would be it. But it won't, because he's been told he's too small and can't do it his whole life. He'll be fine. People are saying he's throwing up on the sideline. That it would make you do it.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Getting hit like that and then not going to win, it probably would.
Well, that's a full speed. That's good.
People are saying Miami's about to score, just, as you'd expect. I mean, this is like Miami likes being down 2 scores in the fourth quarter.
This is how Cam Ward. This is part of the Heisman campaign. He wants all these Heisman moments where he's making all these great fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives, and that'll help him. Yeah,
Doug Flutie kind of thing.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Lou Dog's asking, yes, Cam Williams did come back in the game. I mean, did we really need to review a hit on the defenseless player?
I think, they called targeting originally. I think that's what they're looking at, is whether it was targeting or not. And I don't think it is, but
they didn't call it targeting. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was good to hit him with his shoulder, but I don't know. I felt like
defenseless player. Yeah.
Something else should have been called. Oh, time to go downhill. I like it.
Yeah, this is something we talked about. Jared Gibson got some extra time in the bye. You'd love to see him keep rolling because, as you said, Jerry, you want to go into Arkansas with a confident mindset about your running game.
Yeah, and look, you got Brandon Baker at right tackle, Gooseby in at left. It's Silas Bolden back in, ready to rumble.
Hey, puke and rally, baby. Puke and rally, if indeed he was throwing up.
Seriously.
I mean, that some guys that would knock you out for a while, that just pissed him off.
I love it. I love that. And yeah, man, sometimes you give up your breakfast and get right back at it if that's what he did. That's good. Here's Arch Manning leading this another drive here in the fourth quarter.
I got to tell you, Bolden could come back for a year. And I know he's played a lot of college football already, but I would spend, because of how important I think players like that are to a program, I would spend NIL money to make sure he comes back. I don't care about production. What that guy brings to your team,
toughness,
is worth it.
Yep.
And you're going to lose Bond and you're going to lose Golden. And I would make an NIL investment in Silas Bolden.
I like that.
Yeah, and there's going to be some of those funds available. You have to think with Isaiah Bond and Matthew Golden and some other guys. Jonte Cook. Yeah, exactly.
There's Bolden, another catch for Bolden.
Love it. Hey, Rod, it was interesting. Maybe he's told you this too, but Coach Chipley was talking about how his son Jackson was at some practices and felt like the best receiver they have is Matthew Golden. He said he's the one with the best routes and just does everything right. I thought that was interesting because I don't think Matthew's, I think he's a real good player, but for Jackson Chipley to make that identification just tells you how deep you are at that receiver room.
And Jackson was always a great technician,
Yes.
right? At wide receiver, the footwork for him, the kind of if you will, the mechanics of playing the position. And I think for him, he admires because Matthew Golden is that to me. If you look, and that's why I think that's why Sark loves him for terms of precision route running. Quinn loves him because he's in the red zone. That's precision route running. So I think he's one of those guys. He has the most snaps out of all the wide receivers, I believe, as well.
That's why Golden. That's what keeps Gibson on the sidelines, guys.
Did we fumble?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was a good run, and then just lost the ball there after about a 9-yard gain.
Second fumble this season. That's what keeps him on the sidelines right there.
Hate to see that for him. But Texas turnover there. That's the I think that's their first turnover of the day. Yep, the fumble is their first. That wasn't even a hard punch. He just didn't have it high and tight.
I guess we know why he's not playing.
That's it. That's 2 fumbles in limited time.
All right, Longhorns were about to go over 400 or 500 yards of offense with that drive, but now the ball belongs to Florida with 11:40 to go. And our fourth quarter brought to you by Texas Countertops. And that's not what you wanted to see, because I think a lot of Longhorn fans would have liked to see Jarrett Gibson, with a lot of opportunity against the Arkansas Razorbacks next week. That is an 11 o'clock kick. Rod, you played in these games. How much does it help to have an 11 o'clock kick back-to-back weeks so you kind of get your body in that rhythm coming out of the bye week?
Yeah, I know. I would hate to have to, go back and forth, prime time to 11 a.m. because this team is having to do that. It would seem a lot, right? Go to prime time, 11 a.m. You like a schedule, but I don't like 11 a.m.s. I never did. I was always a fan of kind of the midday sweet spot there, that 2:30, 3:30. Prime time also gets a little annoying because it's great to play in prime time, but waiting around all day is brutal. Just for your schedule and the regimen, everybody, at least me, I like to be on kind of a strict schedule, especially on game days. And when you're in prime time, it throws all that off. Makes you a little bit anxious sitting around watching football all day when you know you got to play it later on too. So for me, I kind of like the sweet spot right there in the middle. If I can get that somewhere, 2:30, 3:30, if we can get it.
That'll be the Kentucky game 2 weeks from today. The Arkansas, Jerry, how big of an advantage is it that the Arkansas game is an early game, not a night game in Fayetteville?
Oh, it's a big advantage for Texas. I mean, you hope it's enough to offset the Arkansas having an off week. I actually think this. I think this is actually going to be a great coaching week for Texas, and I think it may be a little by design too. But they know they have to go in and stop the run next week against Arkansas. They know they do. It's a really easy week to coach that.
Yep.
Because next week you got a QB run game threat on top of it.
Yep. I agree. Assignment football too. Got to get back to it. No doubt.
By the way, so Miami was forced into Miami. I think Miami just scored touchdown.
I'm watching them go for it on 4th and 6 here. I'm a little behind though, but they're going for it, and they don't get this, they're in real trouble. But it sounds like you said you just saw a touchdown. So
yeah, I mean, so look, there it's now 28-22 they called a hold on Miami on that touchdown.
And that was a Cam Ward kind of Heisman looking play right there too, running around buying time. Nothing was open originally, and that was 4th down. But now it's going to be 4th and longer, which takes you back to your point, Jerry. Just get the extra point earlier, because you might have kick a field goal here, but you kind of can't, because if you kick a field goal, if you're 28-17, you can still come down and touchdown 2-point conversion, get you back tied. Now you kind of have to go for it improbably.
I don't understand these guys, man. They're all riverboat gamblers, points chasers at bad times. It's like analytics overweighs common sense in coaching right now, and it's wild for me to watch it.
The green folder, Jerry. You got to have the green folder.
Yeah, you got to have the green folder.
The binder.
Green binder, yeah.
Somebody, Jackson Miles, say Michael Irvin's stressing right now. I bet he is.
Oh yeah, this is
ooh.
Are they going to kick? I think they kind of. Sorry, I'm watching both games right now. Sorry, folks, on the Texas Football Channel.
Yeah.
Wardell Mack in the game. Somebody mentioned that at nickel corner. Yeah, you see a bunch of the young guys in the game here on this drive for Texas defensively. Alex January in. There you see Sidney Mitchell. He's not in right now. He's played the most snaps in his career at Texas. Aaron Bryant, Bill Norton, neither one of those guys are in. There's Tia Savea not playing at all in a game like this. Leads you to believe Tia Savea is going to redshirt, and they'll try to bring him back next year. Makes no sense that he wouldn't be getting snaps right now unless they're trying to bring him back because he's not hurt.
Yeah, because they got Broughton in there getting some snaps because he was suspended for the first half.
Yep.
He's there right now.
By the way, Cam Ward got sacked on that 4th down play, and the Georgia Tech's going to take over the ball up 28-16.
Colin Simmons wreaking havoc as always.
But that goes right to your point, Jerry. If Mario Cristobal kicks an extra point earlier, he can kick a field goal there and get it to 28-20 and still a 1-score game. Instead, he had to go for it on 4th and 15 because a field goal does you no good.
I mean, the Miami fans are going to lose their mind on him if they lose this game. They should.
That's no sense at all. All right, so here we go. No upset special in Austin. Texas taking care of business. They're up 39 points with 10 minutes to go in the game of the 4th quarter. Longhorns on their next drive will likely go over 500 yards, but Florida's about to go over 300 if they can get 5 more because they are running the ball. That's something they're going to build on. But I think you said it right there, Jerry and Rod. I mean, this is going to be a point of emphasis this week in practice for Texas. Getting lower, not getting pushed. I mean, this is the one thing I know about Arkansas is their offensive line isn't nearly as big and strong as what we're seeing from Florida.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Florida to remember is they still recruit really good players. I mean, this is just an injured football team. They recruit really good football players, and they run the ball with physicality downhill with a big back and good backs, even though Montrell Johnson's not playing. So, and they've improved running the football as the season's moved along. So I don't think Arkansas is that level on the offensive line, even though Sam Pittman's a really good coach. But the difference is you have to deal with the quarterback run game against Arkansas. That's the difference is you have the big backs for Arkansas, but you have to deal with the QB run game along with it. And as Rod pointed out, the Armstrong kid at outside receiver is a big kid that wins 50-50 balls.
Yep. He's legit.
What about Taylor Green? He's another one of these Texas kids, right? He's went to Boise State and transferred back, but he's a big 6'6" guy.
Yeah, he is. My issue with him, Rod, I don't know if we've talked about this, is one thing I just will net – Taylor Green's 6'6" and about 200 pounds. You can't run the guy 15, 16 times a game in the SEC and think he's going to stay healthy. Not a 6'6" long QB. Like, we're not talking about Vince Young here, right? Okay? We're talking about a 6'6", 195, 200-pound quarterback.
Built like a basketball player. Built like a basketball player.
Yeah, built like a basketball player. Great way to put it, Aaron. You can't run that guy 15, 16 times a game on design runs and keep him healthy. He's been hurt twice now in conference play. Both of them are hits on his knees, which he can't keep from being exposed.
Oh, yep. No, I agree. I think ultimately that's why, but they got a lot of backs. So I'm with you. I'd only run them. I'd keep them on kind of a pitch count. 12 rushes is kind of where I'd want his ceiling to be throughout the game. But they got a deep group of running backs, including Jaquindon Jackson. They got that freshman. What is he? Is it Braylon Russell, the big dude? I mean, he's a load. I think Arkansas could run the ball potentially against Texas, but can Arkansas's defense stop Texas? Like Florida's able to run the ball against Texas, right? But it doesn't matter because Texas offense was able to separate from their defense and made any run game that Florida had almost irrelevant.
Right. Because
they couldn't control the game with the run game because Texas offense was so prolific. So can the Arkansas defense get stops against the Texas offense? It's a real question. Can Arkansas run the ball against Texas? It looks like with the evidence we have, like they'll be able to have some success running the football against Texas. But can they have the complementary football to be able to keep them in the game overall? Yep. That's what I don't know if they can because Ole Miss lit them up. And I think Sark is looking at that film and licking his chops right now.
Agreed. Yeah, I saw that game last week with Lane Kiffin. I mean, they had 700 yards of offense, a lot of it through the air. One receiver, Watkins, for Ole Miss had 5 touchdowns. I mean, they just running free through that secondary. But as Jerry said, they do have a week off to try to shore up some of that stuff. Texas will be coming in pretty rested too off a bye week in a game where they didn't have to play many guys here in the second half. But Florida is moving, man. Impressive with those running backs. Those are good players. I mean, I think the more you watch these young guys, maybe it's why you're hearing the vote of confidence from the AD. I mean, it's You want to keep this young group together as much as you can. It's promising. They got to coach and play a lot better and get healthy. But boy, there's some good players, good looking players for Florida right now.
I said before the game, and I don't know if you agree, Jerry, disagree. I said it's the best core of running backs you're gonna face. You have faced so far this year.
Yeah,
I know Georgia had Etienne, and Etienne's probably a higher level running back than these guys. That's the NFL running back, but I don't know if they had the depth at the time that this Florida group does. And this is not including Montrell Johnson.
Right, exactly. All SEC back, first team before the season.
If that dude that play, man, trust me, it'd have been a problem, that backfield. So I think, going against Arkansas, when they play Arkansas, that'll be the best backfield they face, other than this Florida one. Actually, it'll be better than the Florida one, especially if Jaquindon Jackson is healthy. It'll be better than the Florida backfield.
And they saved him for the Texas game. They saved him for the Texas.
Oh,
game.
he ain't gonna let nothing stop him from playing in the Texas game.
No.
He's got history there.
Hey, if you said one guy could play in that game, him and Silas Bolton would have a hell of a fight. Silas likes to fight anybody that wants to take playing time.
Hey, guess who I saw walking out when I went to I had to do some pregame stuff. I went do some kind of pregame activities, and I saw Big Hemp going to the game.
Oh, really?
Casey Hemp, yeah, he's lost a ton of weight.
Dude, Rod, he weighs like 240 now. It's amazing. He's
almost walked right by him, Jerry, until he was looking at him, and I was like, why is he looking at him like that? I was like, oh, that's Big Hemp. He ain't big no more, so it's just Hemp. Like
if he had sunglasses on, you would not be able to recognize who he is.
The only way I got it because the face is still pretty.
Yes.
The face is still pretty, but the body is totally different.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But oh man, it was amazing. But I saw him. He looks great. Was hanging out there. I'm sure was out there on the sideline. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know because I know you're always talking about Big Hemp, one of your favorite players.
My man, to this day, he's the best high school defensive lineman I've ever seen. It just as far as playing football in a game, never seen anything like Casey Hampton at Galveston Ball. And I saw Jadeveon Clowney, I saw the Bosa's, a lot of guys, Ty Warren. I mean, you go through, but nobody ever dominated at the defensive line position in a high school game like Casey Hampton did. Never seen anything like it.
Hey, when you can be on the Steelers, all century team or whatever, you do it pretty damn good.
I mean, think about having 54 tackles for loss in a high school season. It's not like he was getting sacks. He ain't a sack guy. It's just he's taking two guys and throwing them to the ground and going and tackling the running back 54 tackles for loss in high school. Unbelievable.
Yo, is that more impressive than leading the team in tackles? From the D tackle position.
Rod, that's probably the most. He had 101 tackles as a nose guard in college football when you played at Texas. Then I mean, what the hell? You'll never see that again.
And guys, we weren't a bad defense. He was just that good. We weren't a bad defense. They were just that good.
I'm glad they brought Jarrett Gibson back into this game. I'm glad they did not sit him. Bring him back into this game.
Smart move. You don't want him to sit on that all week off.
Now he's got to work on ball protection. But bring him back into this game. Let him get into more big runs against this Florida team.
8-yard gain on first down puts Texas over 500 yards of offense. That's a high ball from Arch Manning on second down. By the way, guys, that Bestie, when I was a senior, Jerry, you'll know this. I was in school with Sam Adams at Cypress Creek.
Oh, yeah.
He was that he got that kind of game wrecking ability. He was unbelievable with Shane Rink on that D line. When I was a senior, those guys were menaces. But Rod, you know this. Sean Hamp, he was Hamp next to Sean Rogers. I mean, how do you deal with that nonsense?
Oh no! Sometimes Mac would have to take him out. We'd be doing team, and they'd be wrecking team. We wouldn't get anything done because somebody pissed off Sean before in practice, and then Casey and him they just wrecking shop. So Mac would have to take them out so we can actually run some plays and get some stuff done. Send them on the sideline. They just out there, they're out there talking trash. Like it's the only thing you get. They really could just wrecking offense. Those two guys together, man.
Yeah. By the way, you think Jarrett Gibson's not competitive? That third down run, that was with a lot of purpose in a blowout game. A lot of purpose.
That's the baby rhino.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, from when I was a senior, Jerry, you know this. Sam Adams, who went and played 15 years in the NFL after high school, he had to block. Dan Neal had to block him every day, and of course the lifetime Longhorn Dan Neal. And I remember Dan, as a friend of mine, said, "You say, man, if I can block that guy, I'm be okay. If I can block him every day, I can be okay when I get to college. And he certainly was here at Texas. He was a year behind Sam as a junior when Sam was a senior. But, those steel sharpening steel. But good conversations. Another almost fumble on the handoff there with Arch and Jarrett Gibson, a couple of freshmen trying to work on some things here.
That was gets Texas over 500 yards of offense now.
It's so sloppy.
There's Jarrett Gibson with a stutter step. And look at the power on the runs. That's just keep those legs churning. Good job. The nickname that Jarrett Gibson had early in the year was Baby Rhino. I think you saw him right there, showing a little stutter step, wait for the hole to open, and then hit it. I think that's some progress there.
It fits. It does fit. That fourth down that he had, that fourth down conversion that he had early in the game when they were deep in their own territory. I think that's how you know Sark likes him and trusts him. That's a fourth down, man. Deep in your own territory. You fumble or something goes wrong there, that could really start you off on the wrong foot. And Sark had no, he didn't have any hesitation at all.
This is a typical Jarrett Gibson getting into a game late. Going to be challenging 100 yards by the end of this drive. He's sitting there. He's got 11 carries for 63 yards. If he doesn't fumble it again, he's going to creep up close to 100 yards unless they hit a big pass play. Oh, DeAndre Robinson in for a Florida D tackle, the one-time Texas signee who decided to stay home after Bo Davis went to LSU. So DeAndre in the game.
Nice. Whoop. Like a high snap there. But, Gibson's having a good drive here. They're about to cross the 50-yard line. Texas working on that run game, but a lot of backups in there, though.
But Gibson's the perfect closer in Sark's, his blueprint, his recipe to win.
Yeah, it is.
Punishing, bruising running back late in the game when your defense is already tired from chasing all the speed that Sark has deployed. I mean, it's the perfect combined with the big humans that lean on you for 4 quarters.
Yeah, the walk-on running back Colin Page in the game. Really good player, actually.
He is a good player, man. He is. Every time he helps in there, he's got good vision. He really does.
Yeah,
I don't like that he has no wristbands or gloves on, though. I don't like the bare arms out there.
He looks like he stole a pair of pads and said he was going to play today.
It's like, come on, man. Colin, have some style. Have some style. He's go out there bare arms. Nothing on his arms. What's going on? Come on.
That's funny.
Wrist tape. He got his wrist taped up. What's going on here? Come on, man.
I know somebody who knows Colin Page pretty well, and he just told me that he's one of the strongest players on the team, non-lineman. If you remove the line of scrimmage, he's one of the strongest guys on that team. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 4th down. Do you go for it here?
Yes.
Yeah, under 4 minutes now. Clock ticking, 4th and 2.
Buddy, pal, Big Chief, Arch throwing 3-yard drags, 200 miles an hour.
That's pretty funny.
Hey, man.
He wants to let it loose, man.
He's got a Tesla for an arm. It gets there quick.
Is that Parker Livingstone into the game?
I want to be checked down, Charlie. He's like, nah, I ain't going to be that, man. I'm trying to get it out there.
Parker Livingstone into the game, guys, playing receiver right now for Texas.
I like that.
And there it is. Same play we saw him get out on a 4th down earlier. The offset backfield.
Mm-hmm. Anytime Texas under center, they doing something funky.
Amari Nyblack into the game, too.
Yep. It works.
All right, so guys, big game coming. Two big games in the SEC tonight. Got one coming up here in a few minutes is Georgia at Ole Miss, and then Alabama at LSU tonight. Aaron, the Alabama LSU game's a big one because Brian Kelly's in year 3, and if he doesn't make the playoffs and loses at Alabama to home year 1 with Kalen DeBoer, the LSU fans are going to hate him. And then you have Alabama. If they lose to LSU and are out of the playoffs with 3 losses with 3 games to go, the Alabama fans are going to be mad at Kalen DeBoer. So somebody better win to keep some fan bases from getting really mad at you tonight. That's all I got to say. That LSU fan base will be irate if Brian Kelly in year 3 loses at home to Kalen DeBoer in year 1 and knocks them out of the playoffs. I'm here to tell you. It's going to be – that Collins show will be ugly in Baton Rouge in Louisiana Monday.
The Feinbaum show will be venomous in the afternoon. By the way, Miami just hit a long touchdown. They needed a quick score. They're now down 28-23, but touchdown and a point after, down 5 now. Cam Ward, another touchdown pass.
Man, he's clutch. I will say that. Cam Ward's got the clutch gene. Ain't no doubt about that.
It was a great play call, too, by Miami. It was 3 trips left and got a little wheel route, and it was wide open. But a great route, double move. Easy touchdown.
3rd and 3 here, Rod. Do you let Arch throw it or do you run it?
He'll probably run it.
Yeah.
Because I think he's probably thinking we'll go for it on 4th down if we need to.
Real quick, guys. Go ahead, Ron.
Ron.
I was going to say in our 2-minute timeout, wanted to mention Grande Equipment, another great partner to have back on with us here for the month of November on the On Texas Watch Along. Wes Murray and his team at Grande, equipment sales and rentals. One of the things Wes always tells me, if you have an older piece of equipment that you want to bring back to life, they can do that. They do a great job refurbing, and those old tractors and those old pieces of equipment, man, they run good as new. You give them a good tune up, get them working, get them a paint job, they look like brand new. They can do that for you. But if you need equipment, sales, rentals of any kind, all over the great state, all over the world, they are your local and independent equipment dealer right there in just south of San Marcos now. They started in Dripping Springs, but outgrew that spot. They're down near San Marcos now. So all up and down 35. Grande Equipment, 312-5522. That's 830-312-5522. GrandeEquipment.com. That's GrandeEquipment.com. Longhorns now at 534 yards total. We know it could be more than that, but Florida's actually winning the time of possession battle pretty significantly. They're over 32 minutes. The Texas is 19, but Longhorns have 49 on the board. Florida has 17.
If there's 2 things that I think, Sark will take from this game in his post-game press conference, defensively, he'll say, gave up 6 of 14 on 3rd downs, gave him too many 3rd and makeables with the run game, and giving up 200 yards rushing. Even though it's a blowout game and some of those were late yards, I think those will be 2 things that Sark will look at probably in this game and kind of make reference to. Rod.
No, I agree. Yeah, the rush defense is right now the biggest coaching point coming out of this game is that, all right, we got to fix the rush defense. And not that it's not alarming. We're not it's not doomsday or anything like that. We may just be overly critical, but with the teams you have to play down the stretch, A&M, Arkansas, they can run the rock +1 in the run game at quarterback. They'll force you to play some assignment football. That would be the concern. But the best part is these are not well-balanced offenses. It's not like the Aggies and Arkansas can beat you as well with an elite passing game too. If you take away the run, you can pretty much sell out to take away the run against those teams and force them to beat you left-handed or handicapped essentially as a team that can beat you as a pocket passing team, which that's not really the strength of Arkansas or A&M.
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's been an ongoing problem. They've been really good against the run most of this year, and this year not the same. But great message there from Braxton, who says, as of now, Arch Manning has more wins over Florida than Uncle Peyton. Uncle Peyton never had over Florida.
Huge 3rd down conversion by Georgia Tech. Wow.
Yeah, they got it. By the way, that's a good shot, Braxton, because Uncle Peyton never did that.
Hey, look, some of the funniest things I've ever heard come out of the mouth of a college football coach was Steve Spurrier talking trash to Peyton Manning when Peyton was at Tennessee. I remember somebody asked him at a press conference, hey, why do you think Peyton came back for his final year at Tennessee? He said, I guess he wanted to be a 4-time Gator Bowl MVP or something. I mean, it was just like, we need that. We need some more of that.
Love it. By the way, if you're getting ready for that 2:30 kick with Ole Miss and Georgia, it looks like rain. Looks like it's going to be a wet game today. Does that change anybody's mind? I don't know how much, but everybody's wearing parkas and rain is coming down in Oxford.
I don't know, but Jarrett Gibson just went over 100 yards, by the way.
Hey, nice.
But it affects Ole Miss's passing game more than Georgia.
Yeah.
All right, guys. True. I'm heading to the post game.
You got it, Rod.
You guys. See you guys.
Rod. Take it easy, man. Good job. As always, Rod Babers here on the On Texas Watch Along. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. We'll be back next week. Of course, you mentioned the post game. Bobby Burton, Rod, and the crew on the post game coming up as the coverage continues. Texas is going to be 8-1, headed into Arkansas next week, 11 o'clock in the morning as well for that ball game. So we'll be right on here getting you ready with all of our great people. Do want to say thanks to Grande Equipment and Texas Countertops, also our friends at ATX Trees and One Source Gas for helping us out today, and Jerry Hamilton all the way through here. Bob Chipley was tremendous, Rod Babers. And, this is the recipe, Jerry. I mean, use the passing game to speed everything up, put a lead on the board, and then you just saw Jarrett Gibson over 100 yards on 17 carries. He can be that guy to end a game and pound it out. That's exactly the recipe Sark wants.
Yeah, and Sark took a knee here. Him and Billy Napier know each other well. Normally, I'm all for the last touchdown in the game, but I get this one. I mean, these guys have known each other a long time. It's 49-17. Jarrett Gibson already scored a touchdown against Florida, got 100 yards against the team he grew up cheering for. I get this one.
All right, man. Jerry, great stuff, bud. I know it'll be a great week. We got Longhorn basketball last night, of course. We got football. We got everything. It's all coming here.
Aaron, I mean, Trey Johnson's on pace to average 30 a game. Not much more you can ask for that early on.
That's right.
And 20 shots a game. That'll get you that if you're a really good offensive player.
There you go. All right, Longhorns, mission accomplished. Win and cover over Florida. Getting ready for an incredible day of college football. Ole Miss and SEC. Ole Miss and Georgia about to start. LSU, Alabama. Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Man, what a great day of college football. Enjoy that. You don't have to worry about the Longhorns anymore. They're in the win column at 8-1. Thanks to everybody on the On Texas Football channel. Jerry, Bob, Rod, the whole crew. Bobby, Rod, and the crew coming next on the postgame. Thank you, Jerry.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.